With so many meal kit services out there, it's hard to find the right one for you. Here's what I think sets Home Chef apart. Home Chef offers delicious, exciting meals anyone can cook. Rotating recipe options each week means there's always something new. Once you create your Home Chef account and set your meal preferences, it's as simple as choosing your menus for the future weeks and adjusting your delivery dates. They'll recommend meals based on dietary needs and cook time, such as quick meals, carb-conscious, vegetarian, and even easy cleanup. Your box arrives at your doorstep each week with recipe cards and perfectly portioned ingredients. You get exactly what you need. And if you don't think you have time to cook, they offer quick solutions of 15-minute recipes, microwave meals, and oven-ready options that save you time and effort in the kitchen. For a limited time only, go to homechef.com/art19 for $90 off your first month. That's a value of 10 free meals. Again, go to homechef.com/art19 for $90 off.
Aptitude, expertise, genius, gift.
I'm the fucking talent.
Hey, what's happening? Mike Schmidt, 40-Year-Old Boy podcast. There's a noise in the background. I apologize. It's a ceiling fan because it is very warm here in Los Angeles. And I got the windows closed. I got the door closed. I got just me sitting here in my studio. Studio? That seems strong. Apartment? Yes. Because in addition to the ceiling fan, you'll probably hear my neighbors rattling around and making as much noise as they possibly can. I've been waiting for them to stop, and for some reason, this is the day they decided to make all the noise. Yay! And this is the hazards of putting the show off until you get to do it. Like, you know, I'm like, oh man, yes, I'll bust it out on Thursday morning. And then Thursday morning, there's a fucking party. I don't even know. It's like, was Winston Wolfe live next to me? Why the fuck is he having a party with tuxedos this early in the goddamn morning? It makes no sense. This is a true thing that happened. My neighbor today, you know Lou, he's our friend, we love him. His TV was so loud, and then he was on his phone, and he was being loud, and he was screaming, and he was mad at the person he was talking to, which is shocking. But then he started, I think it was his business partner, and he yelled, he's like, no, we gotta go to the bank. Gotta go to the bank. And he yelled out his sign-in name and his password for his bank account. He's like, yeah, it's this, blah, 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 blah. And I heard it clearly. And part of me was like, well, should I write this down and give it to him and go, hey, man, don't be shouting your fucking bank account number and stuff because I heard it. But then that's just creepy, right? I mean, just because I could hear it through the wall doesn't mean you should do anything with it, which is exactly what I didn't do. I didn't do anything. What am I going to do? Sign in? It doesn't make any sense. But should I warn him? I don't know if I should warn him that he's just shouting his personal information loudly enough for everybody to hear it. I have no idea. It put me off. It put me on my heels, if you will. I'm not into protecting everybody from themselves. Like, if someone wants to ruin their life at high volume, they can go ahead and do that. I've been trying to do it for 13 fucking years. But then he's, his TV's loud, and then the other neighbor's TV's loud, and then somebody's taking a shower, and they've been taking a shower for like 3.5 hours. Like, you've lived in an apartment complex. If you live in an ant farm, you turn on the fucking shower, and people can hear it. Not the shower, like the shower head, but the pipes. That weird echoey fucking pipe noise. So I got that rolling too. And look, by the way, there's a very good chance you're hearing none of this. You might think I'm insane. Maybe you hear the ceiling fan. And then maybe that drowns out the other stuff. But I assure you that the other stuff is happening, and I don't know why I can hear it. And then it preoccupies me, and then it makes me think, nobody's going to want to hear a show with a bunch of background noise, and that's amateur night. And why am I even doing this in the first place? And oh my God, throw your microphone into the sea. This is how my brain works. It's there's a hamster in there, and he runs, right? He's running at a certain pace. And then he starts to run a lot faster when I start to consider about how bad everything is or how bad I am at stuff. And he's like, yeah, by all means, go ahead and do that. I don't know why he's in there. You know what I need to do? I need to get a gun. I need to get a fucking shotgun and shoot that fucking hamster dead so he quits running around on the goddamn wheel. I just want some peace. Stop, hamster. there's a water bottle right there. Hop out of the fucking wheel, rummage around in the fucking wood chips, have a sip of water, and lay back and think hamster thoughts. Think some cool-ass hamster thoughts, like the day you can fucking escape and go out and run around. There's no hamsters in the wild, right? Let me ask you that question. Hamsters only exist in cages or pet shops, right? There's no fucking wild hamsters. I know there's like possums and guinea pigs and woodchucks. Those are all kind of in the hamster family. But the hamster, he solely exists to live in a bedroom and die when you're at school, right? That's his only fucking function in life. There's no greater good for hamsters. There's no, because again, a lot of things do the ecosystem, like bees. Bees will sting you, and fuck that. But bees also bring honey everywhere. They pollinate everything. They make trees grow, right? God damn, what am I in 4th grade? Here's some 4th grade lessons about bees. What an idiot. But that's the thing. Like, dogs exist because they're friendly and they're kind of companions, but also dogs could be sheepdogs. And they could gather up your sheep and they could throw them into a pen somewhere, and that's what dogs do. They're fine. Cats are kind of jag-offs, but I mean, cats are still cool in their companionship, but also cats kill mice. They make sure mice die. And mice are eating roaches. It's like there's a whole fucking ecosystem. Hamsters, they do none of that shit. If a hamster saw a roach, he'd say eek and climb up on his hamster chair and pull his hamster skirt up so you could see his hamster legs. Fuck that. He'd be totally terrified. And a hamster with a cat, a hamster just like stares at a cat in envy because he can't get out of his own cage and the cat has the run of the house. And the hamster's like, man, if I could just get out of here, I'd do some cool shit. You know what? Let me ask you that. Do you think there are any hamsters with like ambition? Are there any ambitious hamsters out there who are in the cage who are just like sighing, like a Disney movie hamster, a cartoon hamster who's just in the cage all the time, but he's got his little hamster face and his hamster, hands, and he's just like, boy, if I could get out of here, I'd do great things. And he wants to be like hamster president of the United States. I don't fucking know. I don't know if there is an ambitious hamster out there. I've yet to find it, because they want to drink out of the water bottle, they want to run on the wheel, and they want to rummage in the wood chips. What do you even feed hamsters? Do they eat the wood chips? Is there hamster food? I never had a hamster as a kid. We barely had a dog. We had 2 dogs. You know this. We had 2 dogs and a cat. We had a bunch of cats. I never had a hamster, never had a snake, never had any of those. Let's put it this way. I never had any of those pets that my mom would have to make an effort for. Hey, Ma, can I get a snake? Fuck, what's a snake? Get a cage? No. Hey, Ma, can I get a hamster? I got to buy a water bottle for this fucking thing? No. There was no, and look, there was no desire either. It's not like I was sitting around going, oh, man, I really wish I had a hamster. Because don't hamsters fucking smell like death? I think so. Hamsters are fucking disgusting. Hamsters are just like a fucking maxi pad with legs. I mean, they're just boofy and weird looking, and they're puffy, and I guess they're absorbent. I don't know if hamsters are absorbent. They should be, right? Shouldn't they be? You got to have some function, hamster. Like I just said, cats eat mice, and mice eat roaches, and fucking rats are chased by cats, and lions kill gazelles, and gazelles eat fucking plants, whatever the fuck. Everybody has a fucking purpose except a hamster. A hamster is literally, his only purpose is to rummage around in the wood chips, drink out of the water bottle, run on the wheel, and die when you're at school. So you come home to discover him, and you're like, this sucks. And look, I'm going to say this, and it's completely true. No one has ever been sad at the death of a hamster. I know this is hard for you hamsters to hear, but I'm going to tell you right now, nobody out there has ever been sad at the death of a hamster, because it's more of an inconvenience than anything else. You're just like a pest, but we chose to keep you. You know what I mean? Like, you ever have a moth in your house? You're like, fuck, I got to kill this moth. Or you're like, man, I'm going to trap this moth and let him go outside where he lives. Well, that's the problem with the hamster. The hamster doesn't have anywhere to live but your room. That's his habitat. Your natural habitat for a hamster is your fucking kid's bedroom. That's not good. So you can't like scoop him up and go, all right, I'm going to set him free into the wild. You put a hamster outside, he's going to just sit there until you put him back in the cage, because that's all hamsters do. Wheel, water, wood. That's it. The 3 W's of a fucking hamster's life. That's all they fucking know. They know wheel, water, wood. You're going to put them outside, they're just going to sit there. You're going to be like, holy fuck, where's the wheel? God damn it. Because here's going to freak them out. If they walk a few steps and they move and they actually change their position, because if you're in the wheel, you're not going anywhere. You're just walking in fucking circles, right? And they're just like, that's fine. But if a hamster actually get outside and he walks around, and then he's like, whoa, what the fuck? How am I making progress? I don't want to put one foot in front of the other and get across the room. I want to be in the wheel. Water, wood, wheel. That's it. The 3 W's of a fucking hamster's life. You put him outside, you fucking bring his whole life crashing down around him. His whole reality is destroyed. Because all he knows is the inside of your kid's house. He sees your kid doing homework. He smells glue or paste. He's fine. He's at home. rummaging around in the wood, drinking the water, walking to the wheel. He's there. He's fine. That's what a hamster needs to do. That's his destiny. You put him outside, he's going to get scooped up by a hawk. I don't know where you live, and I don't know if there are hawks just lurking. What if there were? What if outside of everybody's door? You know what? Fuck this. I'm going to say this. It's cause and effect. Because hamsters are in a bedroom, right? They're in there. That's their natural habitat. But if you take a hamster and you put him outside, a hawk is going to get him. I don't give a fuck where you are. From New England to fucking Nebraska. If you put a fucking hamster outside, a hawk is going to scoop it up. A hawk has a built-in hamster radar. They want them. Maybe they're delicious. Maybe hamsters are delicious. Maybe that's what we need to start doing. Maybe we cook these little furry maxi pads and see what they taste like. You ever eat a hamster? I haven't. I might. If there's an apocalypse or some shit, you'd find a fucking hamster. That's the first place I'm looking. If we're like low on food and the zombies come, I'm going to every kid's bedroom and looking for a leftover hamster. I'm going to cook the shit out of that thing on a stick. Put a marshmallow on it like a goddamn hamster s'more. Fucking chow it down. Let's fucking do it. You can't eat a ham. I mean, you can eat anything. I mean, I could eat this fucking pen if I wanted to. Doesn't mean it'll be good. But hamsters got meat on them, right? They're not like little hedgehogs. Hedgehogs are weird, man. Hedgehogs, you know what they look like? They look like the animal equivalent of that fucking rainbow wig. Remember when that idiot used to go to football games and say John 3:16 and wear the rainbow wig? Yeah, this is a complete trivia thing that you might not know or whatever. You got to be my age to know it. There was a dude who used to show up at all these massive sporting events, and he wore a fucking John 3:16 t-shirt and a rainbow wig, and he always got on camera. And then I think he got arrested for multiple bombings or threatening the government with bombings or some shit like that. Like he had this, his name was, Rock and Roll Jesus or Rock and Roll. I don't even know his fucking name, but Google it. I'm serious. Google Rock and Roll rainbow wig Jesus 3:16, and you'll find out that dude went to federal prison for fucking threatening people with bombs. I'm like, wait a minute. This guy was a super fan who was on TV all the goddamn time, and then he fucking loses his wig, goes bananas. But that's what hedgehogs look like. Because hedgehogs are all just puffy hair. They're just like fucking weird, right? They stretch out. They're a ball of fucking fur, and you can touch them, and it's spongy. I'm going to say this. If you shave a hedgehog, I'll bet it's an inch long. I bet it's a fucking inch long. It's like a snail. A hedgehog is just a snail with a giant fucking rainbow wig on. That's all it is. That's another weird-ass pet that nobody needs. There's no hedgehogs in fucking in the wild. They exist in suburban hipster living rooms. That's the only place you can find a hedgehog. The hamster is the child's bedroom is his natural habitat. Suburban hipster living rooms, that's where you'll find the hedgehog. It's like those little pigs that people used to buy. The fuck were they thinking? Hey man, you guys got any toy pigs? What? Yeah, little tiny pigs. Why do you want a pig? You gonna eat it? No man, I'm gonna feed it and give it a sweater. The fuck is wrong with you? And I know someone's gonna go, hey, don't you know the pigs are super smart? Yeah, if they were smart, they wouldn't let a fucking hippie buy them and dress them in a goddamn sweater. They'd run off into the wild and avoid all the hamster-eating hawks. I got to think if a hamster's going to eat a hawk. What if there was just a hawk who fucking... I said a hamster eating a hawk. I think I fucked that up. What if there was this hawk just survives on childhood pets? There's a hawk who eats hedgehogs, a hawk who eats hamsters, a hawk who eats that fucking toy pig. Why do people buy the pigs? And then they give them away. What the fuck was his name? It was... hat-wearing pig. He had it's a 3-word name. Toe-pointing pig. What the fuck is it? Potbelly pig. Fuck, there you go. I couldn't remember the name. It's a fucking potbelly pig. People bought them and put pigs in their house. Pigs, again, may I remind you, as we learned from Samuel L. Jackson, pigs sleep en route in shit. You don't want that thing in your living room, do you? And I know people will be like, well, he didn't shit in my living room. Well, maybe you didn't think he did, but maybe he did. And he's a disgusting pig. He probably ate it so you wouldn't get mad at him. It's bad enough you got him in a fucking sweater. I tell you what, if I was a pig and you bought me and you put me in a sweater and went, oh, everybody look at fucking Bill. And I'm like, hi, I'm Bill the pig. I would shit all over your fucking house because you dressed me in a sweater. I want to live in a barnyard. I don't want to be out there in a fucking sweater as a display for your friends, knowing that eventually you'll get tired of me because I'm going to get older and fatter and you're going to dump me. Just like you will with your parents someday. You'll dump them in some fucking nursing home. But there's no nursing home for pigs. So instead you're going to sell me to some fucking Bob Evans. And they're going to cut me up into bacon. You fucking dick. See? Yeah. And let me ask you this. You got the decency to take the sweater off me? No. You humiliate me to the end. You take me to Bob Evans. You go into the back door in the kitchen. And the guy's like, I'll take him. And I still got the sweater on when they cut my fucking head off and turn me into breakfast. You fucking jagoff. Can't I die with some decency? Take the sweater off me. Let me run free. Let me be a pig for a while instead of your fucking talking point. I must be a pig. Free me. Take my sweater off and let me experience what it means to be an oinker on my own goddamn time. Don't fucking make me a goddamn a thing you point at and go, oh, how cute. I'm a pig, for fuck's sake. Let me draw my hoof line in the sand and tell you to take this sweater off me and let me do pig shit, man. I don't want to fucking do human stuff. If I want to do human stuff, Jesus would have made me a human. He made me a pig for a purpose. I'm supposed to fucking root around, grunt in the mud, talk to a spider in a web, have her tell me that I'm some pig, and then have them cut my head off and turn me into breakfast. That's it. That's my whole existence as a goddamn pig. Boy, that's bleak if you're an animal, right? That's some bleak stuff. Unless you're in the jungle. If you're in the jungle, you're fine. If you're a jungle animal, you're totally cool. You got to watch out for the fucking lion because he's a dick. But other than that, everybody else is fine. If you're just like a fucking panther or something, you're like, yeah, I run this fucking place. This is cool. But if you were a hamster in an African jungle, fuck that. You're looking around for a wheel. They're like, ha ha, stupid. That's a Disney movie that they should have. The Hamster Went to Africa. Let's make that movie. Oh, man, God damn it. The Hamster That Went to Africa. He goes there. He tries to make fun with all the friends with all the African guys, and like everybody hates him. They're like, fuck you, dude. But then out of nowhere, some fucking like ocelot is like, yeah, man, you're the fucking coolest. And he's like, ah, awesome. So you got an ocelot and a hamster. And then all of a sudden there's a rampage again, like the Lion King, where all the fucking lions are stampeding. The hyenas come and they laugh at him. It's almost like Lion King. I'm not going to lie to you. It's almost like Lion King, but it features, it's like, let's do this. Let's combine Milo and Otis with the Lion King. But Milo and Otis are a hamster and an ocelot, and they're trying to survive in Africa. It's like a fish out of water. That's just perfect. I think this is perfect. It's a perfect story. How dare you? How dare you try to pretend this isn't something you would pay to see? Milo and Otis go to Africa, but instead of Milo and Otis cat and dog, it's Milo and Otis hamster and ocelot. And I guess the hamster is the one who actually went to Africa and the ocelot lived there. Now look, do I know if ocelots are indigenous to fucking Africa? That's for the fucking research department to figure out. I'm the idea man, okay? I'm the dialogue guy. I came up with this. I'm just world making. All right, that's all I'm doing right now. I'm world making. I'm putting a hamster in Africa with an indigenous ocelot, and the two of them are doing everything they can to be friends and survive. There's all sorts of like warthogs and mean animals and shit like that, but these two fucking are pals, and then eventually they're gonna pull the thorn out of like the big king's paw, and he's gonna go, I'm a lion and I proclaim ocelots and hamsters untouchable, and there'll be one mean hawk who's swirling around all over all the action, and he's gonna swoop down and pick up that hamster, and then the lion and hawk have a big fight, and then the hawk calls in like an air force of hawk armies, and the lion calls all the other lions, and then everybody's like, whoa, why are we doing this, man? And they're like, hey man, this fucking little maxi pad dude, he pulled a thorn out of my paw, so he's fucking cool with me, and the hawks are like, we must eat him, he is our delicacy. And then the other animals fucking have like a courtroom. And then we bring in an element of My Cousin Vinny. Let's do that. There'll be some fast-talking New York dog. Would that be, who would be the New York animal? I don't know. I can't imagine. Who comes in to defend the hamster and the ocelot if they are put on trial by the animals in the jungle. The lion calls in his cousin. That's, you know what? The lion calls in his cousin. It's a lion from the Brooklyn Zoo. And he comes in to defend him, and he's like, hey, these two youths, I tell you what, they're hamsters, but so what, right? And everybody's like, what? This is joyous. And then the hawks are furious. And then all of a sudden, wait, there's a dance party, and the hawks are happy. The end. I'm world building. And you can give me your bullshit about, well, how does a Brooklyn lion get from Brooklyn Zoo all the way over to Africa for this court case? I don't know. That's up for the writers to hand out. I'm just world building, and you can take it from there, motherfuckers. Ocelot and hamster, Milo and Otis, they go to Africa with the Lion King. The hawks are there. Everybody's happy at the end. Everybody's dancing. Nobody gets eaten. There's a sad part because Bambi's mom gets killed again. Don't ask me how. I'm world building. I'm not responsible for all of the facts. Let's get the writers in here and see how they make it Bambi's daughter die. Or daughter. Oh my God, even better. Bambi's daughter dies. Bambi's mom was killed again, as I've mentioned, but now Bambi's alive and he married that fucking other deer chick, and now he's running Santa's joint, but then he goes to Africa just to visit. Maybe it's Christmas. Oh, hold on. This is perfect. It's Christmas. And the hamster is in Santa's sleigh, and he's going to be delivered to a kid who wanted nothing more than a hamster for Christmas. That's how he gets to Africa. Because when Santa's out delivering fucking toys, the hamster cage falls into Africa, and he walks out of it. He's like, what the fuck? This is crazy. Why am I here? And a hawk sees him and is like, oh my God, is that a fucking hamster in Africa? You mean I don't have to drive to America to fucking see one? And then sure enough, there's an ocelot who goes, come with me. And he gets the hamster. And then they're like, wait a minute. And so Rudolph is like, what the fuck? We got to do this. Why am I conflating Rudolph and Bambi? It doesn't matter. I am world building. Let the writers figure it out. I'm an idea man, Chuck. You can fucking take it apart. I don't know why I had Bambi running Santa's sleigh, but I like it. It's a Christmas movie, and then the hamster gets dropped into Africa. Bambi shows up with his daughter. His daughter dies, and then Bambi adopts the hamster his own. There's a court case because also the ocelot and the hamster pull the fucking the thorn out of the lion's paw. He tries to defend him. The hawks come with like a hawky air force. There's a huge trial of My Cousin Vinny. A Brooklyn lion comes over to defend him. This is a goddamn movie. This is show business. This is world building. This is me creating an entire. You can get 5 movies out of this fucking thing. Somebody call Pixar. Make me a fucking weird hamster and an ocelot. They're pals. A lion, the hawks, all of it. God, you know what? I'm leaving this podcasting business. I'm just going to be a world builder. The studio should hire me to just brainstorm a bunch of dumb shit, right? Take this and run with it. Anybody out there who wants to make this happen, do me a favor. Somebody draw me a hamster and an ocelot. I'm taking suggestions for names. I can't do everything. Can I name them? Yes. Do I want to? No. The concept, I've put it out there, and everybody else can run with it and create whatever they want. But please remember, I retain all rights in perpetuity for movies or any media representation of the ocelot and the hamster and the Brooklyn lion and the lion paw, Thorn and the Hawk Air Force, and then Rudolph and Bambi and the Santa sleigh. It's all mine. It's all my idea. But go ahead and make it into something and give me all the money. It's not a bad idea because I've done the hard part, folks. I've done the hard part. I've created a children's classic for eons. Now, that's right. Not just for years, not just for decades. This will stretch to the heat death of the universe. For eons, people will be making movies about the ocelot and the hamster who are pals in Africa and the Brooklyn lion sworn to defend them in every court case they wind up stumbling into. And I have a feeling, and again, I don't want to talk out of school here, and I don't want to give the writers any ideas of what they should do. However, I have a feeling that this ocelot and this hamster are going to be in a courtroom quite often. I think they are going to be on trial for a lot of things, ranging from small crimes to perhaps war crimes. Perhaps the hamster and the ocelot get tangled up with a resistance front, some sort of group, and they wind up taking over a government. And then the hamster and the ocelot, by no effort of their own, somehow greenlight the idea of death camps. Now, I don't want to say that they did it because they like doing it. Again, we're taking the children's element out of it, but maybe we do this. We advance it into an adult story. It can start as a children's story, but then somehow the ocelot and the hamster get elected or at least strong-arm their way into a government position, and then they rise to the top, and then they go out and give an Il Duce type of speech on a fucking balcony, and the hamster's got his hand up in the air, he's doing that number, and then somehow they greenlight the idea of ethnic cleansing. And I'm not advocating this, I'm just world building. That's all I'm doing. I'm world building, man. So if you want to go ahead and say to me, well, that's a terrible idea. Well, you know what? We'll see what the writers make out of it. If you want to fight with me, that's totally fine. I'm world building. And so now we've got the ocelot and the hamster. And what are they doing? Unfortunately, they're ruining things because they're ethnic cleansing and they're trying to go ahead and turn Europe white again, which is weird because I wouldn't think that there would be a race for the ocelot and the hamster, but they've decided to side with the white people for some reason. Wouldn't it be better if they went, you know what? Let's go back to making it a children's story. Let's make it an underdog story. Let's make the ocelot and the hamster side with some sort of oppressed minority. Let's let them do that. And then they rise to the top of the government because they're so cute. They are so cute. Everybody's like, oh, we totally got to vote for a hamster and an ocelot, right? Everybody's like, yes. And they infiltrate the government, and then they're voted, and then there's like a voting thing. And then they get to the top of the government, and then they abolish voting, so they make themselves emperors forever. And then they start putting white people on trains. Oh, the ocelot and the hamster, not nearly as entertaining anymore, are they? And yet they're fighting for the oppressed. They feel they're doing the right thing. So then it's not just going to be like out of malice or hate. They feel they're doing the right thing, and they're saving people from themselves. Oh, ocelot and hamster. Now, again, you could not agree with this. You could think to yourself, well, this would never happen. And I tell you this. I'm world building. I'm not saying it's true. It doesn't have to be true. But I see a 10-film franchise. I see it starting again for youths. It moves into like maybe young adults. Maybe the ocelot and the hamster go to high school. And then they make some friends. They hang out at the soda shop and stuff like that. Maybe it's got a Riverdale magical vibe to it. The ocelot and the hamster do that. And then they grow up, and then they infiltrate a government. And then on the side of an oppressed minority, they start ethnic cleansing and putting white people in death camps. I'm just saying, it's an arc. It's a story arc. And get this, the way it ends. Well, I don't want to give an ending away because I'm not the writers. I'm just world building. But the ocelot and the hamster can then wind up at the end of all of this. They go through the ethnic cleansing, and then there's a coup, and then they have to flee. And guess where they flee? Guess where they flee? Right back to Africa. You're goddamn right. They go back to Africa, and they're like, oh, this is perfect. We can go ahead and hide here. But then when they arrive in Africa, it's Christmas time. And just seeing the sleigh, the hamster realizes, oh man, I'm not supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be in some child's bedroom making him happy. And this is after toppling governments and ruining countries. He's still inside of him. He's still a hamster at heart. Still a hamster at heart. And the ocelot is like, well, I'm from here. And the hamster's like, come with me. Come to America. You can live in a cage with me in a bedroom. It'll be awesome. The ocelot said, that sounds fucking terrible. I like the Serengeti. I like the wide open plains. I like occasionally leaping onto an antelope and getting a ride. And the hamster's like, well, you ride that antelope. I'm going to ride this sleigh back to where I belong. And they hug. They hug right there in the muddy waters of the Narragansett River, whatever the fuck, I don't know. And then the hamster hitches a ride. He goes up to Bambi. He's like, "Hey man, can I hop on here?" And he's like, "Of course you can." And Bambi's got like a photo of his daughter like around his neck. And then the hamster winds up in a cage and goes back to fucking New York City. And then he's in the cage and he's just in a kid's bedroom, and it looks like it's over. But then the kid is like, "Mom, can we take hamster to the zoo?" And she's like, well, you can't take him out of the cage. He's like, well, we'll take him in his cage. She's like, oh, that's fine. And the hamster's thrilled. He's in the wheel. He's just trotting in the wheel. And they go to the zoo. And who does he see? Oh, yes. Brooklyn Lion. And Brooklyn Lion sees him. And the hamster sees him. And they make eye contact. And hamster winks. Bing. And Brooklyn Lion just nods. Mm-hmm. Now, you're thinking that this would never happen. Because a child wouldn't be able to bring his hamster into the zoo. It's forbidden. You can't bring animals where there are animals. And you know what I say to you? I'm world building. We'll see what the writers do with it going forward. Let's take a breath, huh? That's, you know what? That's a lot of overwhelming concepts I've just dumped onto your head there. I just created a 10-film franchise. I just made billions for some studio. Whoever wakes the fuck up and makes that, Pixar, again, get at me, Pixar. Quit writing movies about lamps. Nobody wants to see a lamp hopping around. I think that might just be your logo. All right, hold on. That might just be your logo. I guess it's not a full movie about the lamp. And yet, I'm thinking to myself, you know what? If you made a movie about that fucking lamp, we've seen this lamp how many times with your fucking show? It comes hopping out and does that squeaky noise and everything. They're like, a Pixar movie lamp. And that lamp is like, why am I just the fucking opening guy? Put me in a movie. I could be in Toy Story. I could be a cowboy, a spaceman, and a lamp. Why the fuck not? That lamp is furious at you. You've just used him as a calling card when in reality he wants to act. He wants to emote. You don't think that lamp can fucking emote? Look at those eyes you drew on him. Those are expressive eyes for a goddamn office toy, a fucking lamp. That's expressive eyes for an emotionless piece of metal that just illuminates your documents. Look at that lamp. He's ready to fucking burst. You got fucking the old prospector. Wait, didn't they ban him because he's a sexual assaulting guy? Is that what I heard? I don't know, man. I don't keep up with the Pixar scuttlebutt, but I should, because if I remember right, didn't Prospector Pete get banned because he's a handsy motherfucker? I think so. Oh man, nothing's safe. Nothing's safe anymore. Look at these cancel culture idiots coming for Prospector Pete. Oh man, that handsy fucking dickhead got thrown overboard. He's the only toy that didn't make it out of the incinerator. Everybody else fell in and climbed the fuck out somehow, but Prospector Pete plummeted into the goddamn flames because he got handsy with a couple of chicks in his bag. What a dick. Way to go, Double P. All right, there's some water. How you doing, man? You good? I'm all right. I'm world building, but I'm going to take a break from that now and stretch a little bit. I'm back in town. I got to be honest, man. I don't know if I said this in the beginning because I will be honest. I've started and stopped this show fucking 8 times, but man, I forgot how to do this. Like in my brain, I kept sitting down. I'm starting and talking. I'm going, this doesn't sound right. This sounds forced. This is echoey. This is fucking stupid. I don't even know, man. I feel better now, though. I feel a little better. I think I talked through it. So, all right. So the first, 15 minutes of the show is me just getting back into podcasting shape. It was like, it's like going to the batting cage, just fucking taking some swings, just getting ready, just getting I was like, you know what? First 15 minutes of the show, I was in the bullpen. I was taking some warm-up throws, getting the arm loose, getting ready to throw some fucking speedball by you. Make you look like a fool, boy. But yeah, now I'm feeling good, feeling like I'm back on the horse. We got the talk, we got the throat is all lubed up. Everybody's ready to go. We can talk about things and say things that are important. I'm back in town. I'm back in California. I went out of town last week or about a week and a half ago. I wound up going to where? Do you remember? Who knows? Let's go. I'm show of hands. I should call on somebody. I wound up in Denver, Colorado, ladies and gentlemen. Denver, Colorado. To recap, in case you didn't know, I got vaccinated and I'm getting the fuck out of town. I'm just doing it. I'm leaving, and I got vaccinated on, my second shot came on that Tuesday, and then I was on a plane on Friday, and people reached out and said, you don't have a full viral load just yet. And I'm like, yeah, I understand, but I'll be safe. I made it through the year being as safe as I could, wearing masks, washing hands. I went to stores. I went and got takeout food. I didn't hang out with anybody, but I felt like I was taking enough precautions, and I did not get the virus. I didn't get the HIV, so I'm fine. The vid. Why do I call it the HIV? Because, I like to abbreviate viruses. That's how I handle my life. I was able to avoid the vid, and I knew I would avoid it this time. Even without a full viral load, I was excited about going to an airport. I didn't care. I was just like, get me the fuck out of here. Let's go. Let's go see friends. I called my buddy Dennis. He's like, yeah, I'm in. My buddy Jeff was coming from Chicago to hang out as well. It was totally cool. And I left. I went, what was it, a week and a half ago? Wanted to get on a plane, and it was strange. I'm not going to lie to you. It was completely fucking weird. I haven't done this. I haven't traveled. I haven't gone places, and it was a very odd feeling. I mean, I was as excited as I was. I was still, I had hesitation, but not super. I know I'm starting here. I don't want to sound like I was completely shirking safety and regulations and things that you should do, but I didn't give a fuck. I was ready to dive into a huge ocean of germs. I didn't give a fuck. I had the vaccine. Let's fucking, you know what? Let's put it to the goddamn test. It's like when you'd go to Foot Locker when you were a kid and they'd try on your shoes and you're like, all right, I got to test them out. And you'd run around the store and then you'd jump and stop. Oh, they stop good. You ever do that with shoes? I did that when I was a kid. They stopped good. They didn't stop. I mean, they had traction and they caught you from falling. But I mean, that's why that basketball hoop is in Foot Locker, so you can dunk and test the new shoes. But you have to give it, I've got to take this vaccine out for a spin. It's like a test drive. So I was ready to do it. I didn't give a fuck. I went to the airport. I went to Burbank. And Lenny gave me a lift. And man, it was, first of all, the airport was dead, which was great. I was thrilled about. I was worried. I won't lie. I was worried because I flew Southwest. And as we know, I've spent the pandemic ruining myself. I'm probably heavier now than I have been since 2005, since my surgery. It's terrible. I don't like it. I don't feel great. And it's funny, I can fool you, like from the shoulders up, you're like, oh man, he looks fine. And then the shoulders down, you're like, oh, what happened to this fucking guy? Jesus Christ, did he eat that fucking candy he wasn't supposed to eat and turn into a blueberry? What the fuck? That is a round globe of a man. And I'm trying to fight through it. I've got decisions, we'll talk about it later. But I was worried going to the airport, because physically, this was not a lie. Like I hadn't worn a watch for a year. I hadn't worn socks for a year. I hadn't worn pants for a year. To the point where I don't know if I have any jeans that fit right now. I have locked them up. I haven't dragged them back out again because I didn't need them. I did buy some sweatpants, something I said I would never do again, but I bought like 4 pairs of sweatpants. I've been going through those and shorts and everything else. Just living in sweatpants and shorts in my house. Because again, what's the point? Why would I put socks on in my house? I got slippers, whatever the fuck. But and you know me, I hate wearing slippers, but it just makes sense. It's just, oh Christ, I'm a dichotomy because all the things that I don't like. I would much prefer to be in shoes and socks every single day. I don't like being barefoot. I don't like being in slippers, but I don't wear shoes in my house and I don't go anywhere. So what the fuck is the point? I don't need my watch because my watch measures my heart rate and my walking, and I don't want to know my heart rate. My watch would explode if it had to measure my heart rate now. Jesus, I can't even imagine. I have a resting heart rate of what the fuck? That's literally what my resting heart. You went to a doctor, they would go, hey, well, your resting heart rate is what the fuck? That's the actual official read. So I don't throw my Apple Watch on because what the fuck? And I got a phone that tells me the time. And by the way, who the fuck needs to know what time it is during a pandemic when you can't go anywhere anyway? Just in the fucking house. You're not going anywhere. You're not doing anything. You don't have any fucking plans. So it was a year of not having plans or a life or anything to do. So re-emerging into that world that you had left behind seemed very daunting. I've talked about it on here before. I was like, this is going to be weird. I'm worried, man. I don't know what it's going to be like. And especially with the flying, because I'm a big person now and I don't know how that's going to be on the plane with people. Are they going to be mad or upset or sad? And also I'm flying Southwest, and Southwest makes you buy a second ticket if you're a big dude. And I'm like, oh, fuck, man. I can't. I didn't want to have that conversation. I didn't want to pay for 4 plane tickets, you know what I mean, to go to and from my buddy's house. But I was leaving. I didn't give a fuck. I was going. I got through all that shit in my head and I said, fuck you, just go. So I went to fly out of Burbank, and I got there. Like I said, the airport was a little light. Now I wore long pants. I got socks and shoes on. I got a watch on. I was wearing society's uniform because I was re-entering society. So I wanted to blend in. Even though I was wearing sweatpants, I should have been wearing jeans. But like I said, I'm not even digging my jeans out just because I know putting them on, I'm going to go, oh, man. And I'm not buying big jeans. I'm not. I'll lose weight. I have full confidence in myself to lose as much weight as I possibly can to get down into a place where, whatever jeans I own, and then I can buy new, smaller ones. But actually, fuck that. I have like a tub of jeans. I've told you this before. I have jeans in all sorts of sizes. I have jeans in really big sizes. I have jeans down to 38s that I actually fit in 2014, man. I mean, it's like, I was feeling good then. As I mentioned, in 2014, I only ate pussy. That was all I ate all fucking year. So that was the best year of my goddamn life, as I was losing weight and fucking feeling great, looking good. But here we are in 2021. 7 years later, and the tub of jeans remains unopened. It's like the Ark of the Covenant. If I open up that tub of jeans, ghosts are going to melt my face, because the ghosts of all the progress I made in the past will come out, look at me, and then fucking destroy me for my transgressions. And I don't blame them. I deserve it. So I wore sweatpants, but I had socks on. I had a watch on. I was ready for society and whatever it would throw at me. But I should tell you, I bought a ticket on Southwest, and it wouldn't let me check in on the phone. And I mean, I've been a member at Southwest for a long time. I used to be an A-list flyer for a while. But, not having flown in a while, all that stuff's gone away. But for some reason, it wouldn't let me check in on the app, which made no sense to me. I don't know why it wouldn't do it, but it said you have to check in at the counter. And then I'm like, wait a minute. Is there some super sensitivity to this app that it knows a fat guy is holding the phone? Like, that really threw me off. I'm like, wait, are they somehow... Because again, then I think, wait, I've got the vaccine. Bill Gates is watching me jerk off. Is he also watching me fucking get fat, and he's telling all the Southwest about me so they can get an extra fucking ticket price out of me? I don't know, man. I have no idea. But I was worried. I won't lie. I was worried that I had to check in at the counter. So I walked in, and it was dead. That was the good thing, is it was dead. I walked right up to a window, and there was a lovely woman right there. Now, I will tell you this too. You know me, I'm personable, and I can talk to people. I have enthusiasm. How do I put this? I'm friendly. I'm just a nice guy. I mean, and I don't mind talking, as some people will tell you. I don't mind talking to service people. I don't mind talking to anybody. So, but I will say that you do retreat a little bit into yourself when you don't feel confident and you don't feel that you look good. And I know I don't look good. I look, again, I from the shoulders up, yes. But the rest of me, no dice. I mean, and I can feel it too walking. I'll get into that later. But it was a very attractive young woman at the desk, and then I didn't want to be creepy, and I didn't want to be like, hey, what's going on? But because also then you're fat jovial. It really does affect how you act. How you look affects how you act, and how you perceive yourself affects how you act around people. Like if you're full of confidence and whatever, you're the big swinging dick in the room. You can talk and whatever. And I'm good at that a lot of times. But right now, I don't feel great. And so I walk up to the counter and she's super friendly and I go, "Hey, how are you?" And she's like, "Okay, you need your driver's license." I gave it to her and I showed her my app where I said, and she's like, "Oh, you don't need to do that. I've got you here and she punches me up on the computer and she's like, "Are you checking a bag?" I said, "No." And then she looks at me and says, "Would you like me to offer you another seat?" And I said, "Excuse me?" And she goes, "Well, we here at Southwest, we want all of our passengers to be comfortable, whether it's you or our other flyers. So I would like to know if you'd be interested in possibly getting another seat for this flight." I said, and I, dude, I knew it. I fucking knew it. Again, because I'm a giant. And it's not like it's hidden. You know what I mean? I couldn't, even if I wore layers of clothes, you'd be like, Jesus Christ, that guy wearing 7 hoodies. I mean, I'm just big. And so I was crestfallen because I'm like, oh fuck, I got to buy a fucking ticket. And I just went, I said, "Is it a full flight?" And she goes, "It actually is. Today is a full flight." And I said, but then part of me wanted to go, if it's a full flight, why are you making me buy another fucking ticket? Because if it's a full flight, there's no other seats available. But I didn't pout, but because you also recognize when you've put yourself in this position. I know what my lot in life is right now. And I know that it's time to pay the check. I've said this many times. It's time to pay the check. So now, because of all the fucking damage I've done over the past year, it's time to pay the check. And if you got to pay for an extra fucking ticket, it's got to be done because you're flying to fucking Denver. Who fucking cares? So I said to her, "Okay." I said, "Full flight." "Well, I'll tell you what." I said, "Yeah." I go, I go, "How much is it? Is it the price I paid when I bought the ticket, or is it today's price?" And she goes, "Oh, no. No, there's no charge." I said, "Excuse me?" She goes, "No, we want you to be as comfortable as possible. We want our other flyers to be comfortable as well. So I will offer you another seat that you can have next to you for no charge." I heard the angels singing. I heard the heavens open up. I heard trumpets. And I said, "Excuse me." I said, so wait, so you're just going to give me an airline seat? And she goes, "Well, yes, we do this all the time for travelers who might need to have some sort of different comfort level and also for the level of the other people who are flying." She was incredibly well-spoken and professional and awesome. And she made it sound like they were doing me a favor. You know what I mean? Like, I went through this before and they stopped me in the hallway and said, "Hey, you're too big. You got to buy another ticket." Like, I mean, I've gone through this on a flight fucking 15 years ago. And they, it turned into a bunch of bullshit. And I wouldn't give them the ticket. And then someone wanted my seat. It was a mess. It was a huge mess by year 1 or 2 or whatever the fuck. But she said, "No, this is a service we have because we want to make sure that you're as comfortable as possible." And dudes, I wanted to hug this chick. I think I probably choked up a little bit. I mean, I'm not going to cry at the fucking desk, but it was like, it was such kindness. It was, and re-entering society, you're not expecting that. You're expecting bruising, elbows, and hellscape, and every other bad thing in the world. And especially from a corporation, you expect them to just fucking try to, with the flights having been fucking kneecapped over the past year because of the fucking HIV, you just thought to yourself, well, fuck, they're going to take every dime. And she said, "No, it's policy. We try to take care of our riders and we want to make sure that every flyer, every passenger is comfortable. And if this will be more comfortable for you," she goes, "You don't have to." She goes, "But if you'd be more comfortable, it would be something." And I said, "No, please, I said, look, if I don't have to pay, then yes, absolutely. I would love to do that." She goes, "Okay, no problem. That's great. I'll do it right now." And she just starts clicking the keys and getting a new boarding pass and getting a second flight. And then she goes, "You're going to be pre-board because of this. Because of this, you'll pre-board and be able to pick out whatever row you want because then you'll have the seat next to you open. It's like you don't have to come in and compete with everybody." And as she's talking to me, it might as well have just been a fucking siren song. Like it just sounded so beautiful. It was like all of her words were turning into light and bathing me in warmth because it was just, I was so worried about it. I was so worried about it inside my head, inside my heart, inside my gigantic gut. I was going, oh man, I was hoping to sneak onto the plane. And look, if you've been through this, okay, whether Whether you've had a bad haircut and you felt like you don't want to go outside for a fucking week, or you're overweight and you don't want to go to the gym for the first time because they'll point at you and laugh, or you don't want to even walk outside. Like, you can't. This is true, and we've talked about this many times before. When you're like a big fat dude, okay, and you go to the store and you buy a bag of chips, you know that one person's going to look at you and be like, ugh, look at that fucking idiot buying the chips. It happened before when I was losing a ton of weight. Once I had the surgery, we went to the grocery store once and we filled a cart. It was Karen and I, my ex-wife, and we bought a ton of vegetables. We were cooking at the house. We bought vegetables. We bought meat. We bought real food. We didn't buy any processed shit. We didn't buy anything. This is when I was really headlong into losing the weight. It was fucking awesome. And we were checking out at the Ralph's. We put everything up on the fucking belt, and she's ringing everything up. And she looks at me and right at me too. And she just goes, I want to commend you. This is probably the healthiest cart of food I've checked out today. And while I know she was trying to be complimentary, and I thought, well, that's really nice of her to say, another part of me was like, she's basically looking at you and going, wow, how are you so fat and yet you're eating all of these vegetables? What's going on with you? And look, she might not have been doing that. She truly may have meant, I'm commending you for buying the healthiest cart of the day. That might have been fine. Might have been making small talk. But as a fat dude, you're conditioned in your brain to go, all right, what's the punchline? All right, where is the fucking back slap? I'm waiting to get fucking shivved. What's going to happen? And also you add in comedian and busting balls to it. So I'm just waiting all the time to get fucking killed by somebody with those fucking lines. So and graciously I said to her, I go, well, thanks. I'm really trying. And she goes, well, I'm telling you what, this is great. So good for you. And you'd get a lot of that too when you were fat and losing weight. Good for you. Good for you. So for this woman to just take it upon herself to offer me a seat and then just go, yeah, cool. We do it for everybody. It's no problem. And just start typing and clacking the keys. And I stood there. This was amazing. You're going to pre-board. So here's your boarding pass and stuff. And I said, is there a manager around? She goes, oh, no, our manager's out by the gates, not here by the counter, but you can find her probably by gate 3 or 4, A3 or A4. I said, okay. I said, well, I just want to tell you, I have been through this with you guys before. She goes, what do you mean? I said, well, it's got to be 15 years ago. They made me buy another seat, and they stopped me in front of everybody, and they said, hey, man, you are too big. You need to buy a second ticket. And her face was horrified. She's like, oh, my God. I said, yeah. I go, and it was very uncomfortable and very unpleasant, and I'd never forgotten it. And then I lost a ton of weight, so that I boycotted Southwest, and I lost. I told her the whole story. It's so bad. I said I would never fly Southwest again, and then I lost a ton of weight, and then I started to use your airline again, and now the pandemic. Unfortunately, I put on a ton more weight, and I was really worried today. And man, you really made me feel great with the way you handled this. This was super friendly, and I can't thank you enough. And dude, she looked happier than me at that point. She made this huge face and she goes, thank you for saying that, because it can be a very different thing to say to somebody. And I said, oh no, I understand. She goes, yeah, it's tricky. I go, it's not tricky at all. You're looking out for me. You're looking out for other people. And I appreciate it. If you're going to do it because it's a nice thing to do, then I'll always appreciate it. And anybody else should too. But if you're going to make somebody else pay, then it's, and she's like, well, no, I can understand that. But she goes, but no, our policy is to just give someone a seat. And I said, well, let me tell you, it's a great policy and I appreciate it. What's your name? And she said, Summer. I said, Summer, thank you. And this is crazy. She thrusts her hand out at me. And it was her left hand, which was even stranger. And so I put my left hand out and she had a great grip and she shook my hand. She goes, thank you, Mike. I'm so happy that you said that. And I hope you have a fantastic trip. And I said, thank you. It's my first flight since the pandemic. She goes, oh my God, I'm so glad you're here. I said, oh my God, I'm so happy to be here. And we're shaking hands the whole time. And her enthusiasm was infectious. And like I said, she was probably happier than me because, if you say to somebody, basically, because what you're telling them is like, hey, look, you're fat. You need another seat. And that can go down like a real poison pill with the wrong person. So I think she was just as relieved and happy as I was to see my reaction as I was to see hers. I mean, it's a delicate dance. It has to be a weird dance. And I mean, like I said, I vomited all the information. Well, since the pandemic, I put on a lot of weight and blah, blah. Nobody cares. Nobody fucking cares. All we care about is getting you on the plane. And apparently all Southwest cares about is making sure that you're okay. And so I've flown them since 2013 is when I started flying them again. And man, just knowing that this is the policy now, fuck. Now, is it going to stop me from losing weight? No, I would much prefer to lose a lot more fucking weight. I don't need a free seat next to me all the goddamn time. But there was really something to be said for being able to pre-board and pick your own goddamn thing. It was fantastic. I'm not going to lie to you. This just fucking happened. I'm talking to you. My laptop is here. And right in front of me is my monitor for my computer. And I got an email just now from Southwest offering me another flight to Denver. Dude, your phone hears you. Your phone fucking hears you. It hears everything you do. Your computers are listening. Everybody pretends that they're not. I don't have Alexa. I had one, and a great listener named Paul gave me one as a gift, and I didn't install it. I asked him, is there a way you want? I offered it back to him, and he's like, no, do whatever you want with it. But you're being listened to at all times, and it's so because it happened. When I was in Denver, I'll tell you, we were sitting around, and someone started talking about the casinos in Denver. And I'm not joking. 2 minutes later, I picked up my phone and checked Facebook, and the first ad I got was for betting in Denver at the casinos. And you could say, well, it's the algorithm that knows where you are or whatever. I mean, dude, I had never seen that ad before. And then 2 minutes later, it's on my Facebook. It's at the top when I signed in. Fuck that. Your phone knows. It hears everything. Everything is listening to you at all fucking times, which is another reason these idiots who are like, I don't want that vaccine because it's going to track me all over. I got news for you, man. Your fucking phone tells everybody where you are, not only where you are, but who you're talking to and what the fuck you're saying. Don't pretend that you're not being tracked at all times. Jesus Christ. You have a tracking device and you paid. Not only that, not only do you have a tracking device, you paid $1,200 for the privilege of having a tracking device in your goddamn pocket. There's a cost to having all of the information of the human experience at your fingertips. And that is that they will know where you're at when you're looking up what time that movie starts. You know what I mean? It's just, don't pretend you're not getting fucking followed. So, there you go. They just said, hey, you want another flight? Because they can hear me singing their fucking praises on the goddamn show. So Summer, and also, she put her hand out to shake my hand, and I shook her hand, and we're talking, and we're kind of like giggling like schoolgirls. And I realized that this is the first time I've touched somebody in God knows how long. I mean, I elbow bump my nieces. I told you I don't hug them. I hugged my neighbor once out of impulse. Like it just made sense to do it once. But I hadn't touched anybody in joy or anger or just casual contact that used to have was high fives and hugs and handshakes. All of that has been missing from my life for a year. And this stranger who I don't know was just so overcome with joy at my response. And I was so thrilled at her graciousness that she put her hand out and I grabbed it. I didn't think fucking twice. I grabbed her hand and we just fucking hung on to each other for dear life and shook hands and laughed and we're so happy that our solution had been resolved in such a manner and that nobody was mad and each appreciated the other. And God damn, it was a miracle. It was a fucking miracle. It was life. There's been no life in my life. And to have some of it show up there, even for an instant, the graciousness and kindness of somebody, and then for her to actually to initiate, to reach out and shake my hand, my God, it was a miracle. It was so great. Pre-boarded, got on the plane, and the flight was full except nobody sat next to me. And I will tell you this: there was a kid. And it's the smart play. I will tell you it again. If you ever see a fat guy sitting by himself, there's a fat guy sitting by the window or a fat guy sitting in the aisle, take the seat opposite him. Like if he's in the aisle, take the window in his row. If he's in the window, take the aisle in his row, because nobody is going to want to sit between the two of you. Literally, if it comes down, if a plane's completely full, there's nothing you can do about it. But if the plane has like 4 empty seats on it, I guarantee you that the seat next to the fat guy will be empty until the very last choice. Like nobody wants to sit there. So if you see a fat dude sitting there, just go ahead and take the opposite seat. If he's at the window, take the aisle. If he's at the aisle, take the window, and just know that nobody wants that seat between the two of you. And you exponentially increase your odds of leg room by, I would say, probably like 70%. Unless every ticket on a plane is sold, that seat between you and the fat guy is going to be the last one anybody takes. I can guarantee it. So this dude, he was in the A group and he took the seat. So I was like, this is an experienced traveler. This is a kid who knows. And dudes, I put on my earbuds. I listened to Tool on the fucking way up. I listened to music. I slept. It was just, it all comes back to you. You're like, I'm going to forget how to do this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do all this. And I'm like, nah, fuck it. I know what to do. I know how to fly. You just sit there. It's not like I'm running the plane. And, but it was just being around people. And I'll tell you this, I wore a mask. I had a neck gaiter too, but I doubled it first in the airport. And then I'm like, what are you doing here? And I was just with the mask. There was in the Burbank airport, everybody had masks on. Nope, there was no issues. There was nobody wearing it under their nose. I looked, and not like I was going to do anything about it, but I kept an eye out. I got on the plane. Everybody had masks on. They kept their masks on. Nobody did anything stupid. Got off the plane in Denver. Oh, I should tell you this first. We landed in Denver. And I was undoing my seatbelt, and I undid my seatbelt and I yanked it. And I wasn't even fucking thinking because when this, I have to stretch my buckle all the way to the end of the belt. So I yanked it, and the fucking buckle goes flying and hits this dude right in the elbow. And I mean, it was like he's on my left. Okay, because again, I got a window on the right hand side of the plane. And it's that thing where I usually don't take my belt off because I forget to do it. Because I'm sitting there because I don't need to be one of the first guys off the plane. Everybody else leaps to their goddamn feet. I will literally be the last guy off the plane. I don't care. But everybody's getting their stuff and they're gathering. And so now it's coming up to my row. I'm at 17 and I'm like, all right, I should get ready. So I clicked off I opened the little fucking click lock and then I whipped the belt off of me because I was excited. And the fucking dude, the buckle hits him right in the elbow and it makes a thud, like this horrible noise, like clunk. And I mean, it hit him right on the elbow. It had to hurt. It had to fucking hurt. And he kind of like jumped and I go, dude, oh my God, I am so sorry. And he goes, no, that's no problem. No problem. And I go, dude, I have forgotten how to fly. It's my fault. It's my first flight since the pandemic. Because again, all I want to do is tell people it's my first flight since the pandemic. All I want to do is go talk to people. All I want to do is interact and they want nothing to do with me. They're just like, yeah, whatever. Okay, fine. That's good. But I fucking pulled the belt up and hit him right in the elbow. What a fucking noise it made. And he was very, nice about it. But he ignored me. I'm just like, yeah, no, it's my first flight. I think I've forgotten how to do all this kind of. Okay, fine. Just fucking gets up in the aisle to get away from me because I'm now fucking Robert Hayes. And I get off the plane and my buddy Dennis was meeting me. My buddy Jeff flew into Denver before me. So they said, I texted him. They said they were waiting. And when you get out in Denver, you got to take a train. So in Denver, I took the train to the main terminal. And then you got to take one escalator up and one escalator back. And I will tell you this was the one thing. There's an escalator and it says there's signs everywhere. So please socially distance on escalator 6 feet. And it wants you to skip like 4 stairs between the other person. Not a fucking chance. Everybody just herded onto the goddamn escalator. And it's funny, there were older people who were nervous. They were kind of like waiting for the crowd to thin because they didn't want to just plunge into the crowd. And everybody just kind of walked past them. Even I did. I have to admit, I was going to let them on, but then I was like, if will they get on? Because I've done that too, where you're like, go ahead. They're like, no, it's okay. They're terrified because they don't want to be out in the midst of the germ and stuff like that. And I totally appreciate this. I understand it. None of us know how to fucking react or act in public anymore. So it was a zoo. Everybody piled onto the escalators. We rode it to the top and I walked through and then I saw my friends. And, you thought Summer's handshake was a joy. You thought that was aggressive. Dudes, I had my computer on my one shoulder and I've got my roller bag. And I walked up and I saw my friends and I fucking let go of my roller bag. I took off my shoulder bag and dropped it to the floor. And my buddy's wife walked up and I just fucking scooped her up and gave her a gigantic hug for like 20 seconds. And I told her, I go, this is literally the second hug I've had in a year. She's like, oh my God, that's amazing. And I put her down and then Dennis came up and I scooped him up and I lifted him in the air and I hugged him for like 20 seconds, which was fantastic. It was to not even have to think about it, to just see somebody and reach out and hug. It was beautiful. It was fucking beautiful. It was normal. It was real life returning in dribs and fucking drabs, but returning nonetheless. And there was my buddy Jeff. I haven't seen him in fucking 4 years, 3 years probably. And I went to scoop him up and he's like, no. because he tore his Achilles. So he's in the middle of rehabbing his leg and stuff, and he's up and around, but he's like, I can't have you drop me, because it's like if I dropped him and he fucking put his weight on the wrong leg, who the fuck knows what would happen? I can't even imagine. Like I talked to him about the fucking torn Achilles and all he went through, and I'm like, God, I can't. You think of athletes who do it and they're back to play in 11 months, and he's like, dude, he goes, look at my calves. Like one of his calves is completely like it's withered compared to the other calf, and he goes, and it's been a year for me. I'm still trying to fucking rebuild the muscle and everything else. He's up and around and he can drive and do stuff, but at the same time he's just like, oh man, it's so hard. So I didn't get to lift him up, but that was fine. I gave him a huge hug. We went out to the car, and then we just had life. Dennis is like, hey man, we're going for dinner. Is sushi good? And we went to a place called Blue. And it was me and Kelly and Dennis and Jeff, and the waitress was super nice, and we actually ate indoors. And that was weird for me because I haven't eaten indoors yet. I ate outside with Lenny, but I haven't eaten indoors at a restaurant. And so I went through the same dance with the waitress. I'm like, all right, you want the mask on when you come over to the table? You want? And she's like, no, don't even worry about it. If you're fine. I'm like, well, I'm vaccinated. Like, I can't wait to tell everybody that, just in case they have any questions at all. I'm vaccinated. It's okay. I can do whatever I want. I'm vaccinated. Please don't worry about me. I know I don't have a mask on, but I'm vaccinated. It's okay. I don't have a full viral load yet because it was supposed to be 2 weeks, but it's only been 5 days. I mean, I was so excited to talk and tell my story and make sure that nobody had to worry. And also it's a way to make sure people know that you're not just some jagoff who's decided he doesn't want to wear his mask. You know what I mean? Like, I was willing to wear my mask and I told her so, and she's like, no, it's okay. You're fine. But we just, we ordered a schooner. We ordered so much sushi, they brought it on a boat. That's not even a fucking joke. Like a big wooden boat. We didn't order a schooner of sushi, but they brought a sushi-filled schooner because we had ordered so much it came on there. We got a bunch of appetizers. We just got so much food. And we sat there for 2.5 hours. Just my friends drinking wine, fucking went through 2 bottles of wine, sushi, and talking about family and what's been going on and how are you doing and who's this and how, it was normal. It was life. Life creeping back into my life. And it was the fucking greatest. We stayed there. When did I land? Probably 6. We got there. Our reservations were like 7:30, 7:45. We were there till 10:15. Headed home. It was about a 40-minute drive, and Kelly went to bed. And then me and Dennis and Jeff, we just went downstairs to his basement, and we fucking shot pool. I know that doesn't sound like a big deal. I know none of these things sound like a big deal. They sound like what I used to do all the time. They sound like what all of us used to do all the time. But I haven't had any openings to do these things. I haven't had any opportunity, or wasn't supposed to, or shouldn't do, or shouldn't be around people. It's just, that's just the way it was, And we went downstairs and we shot pool till 3 a.m. And we'd fucking listen to Stevie Wonder, because Jeff and I, look, Dennis loves music too, but Jeff and I took over the fucking the music, and we kept going, all right, what about this? All right, what about this? Jeff is a friend that I haven't seen, like I said, in forever. Jeff was the best man at my wedding. I was the best man at his. And Jeff, in high school, Jeff was the guy I was with more often than anybody else. And, now he's got a wife and kids and a family, and he's got a whole different friend group and stuff. So I don't get to talk to him nearly as much, and I certainly don't get to see him. But when I see him, we might as well be fucking 16 again. We fall right back into everything. We can finish each other's sentences. He's just an amazing dude. And we started playing. We played Stevie Wonder, and we played the Gap Band, and we played Midnight Star, and we played the Daz Band, and we played Rick James, and we played Vanity 6, and we played The Time, and we just, dude, it was awesome. We shot pool and listened to music from when we were kids, and talked and laughed, and the stories changed. It was stories about their kids going to college, or who's, him hanging out with his boy Henry at Iowa, where he goes to school, and but it didn't matter. It was still three dudes who've known each other for 40 years, just drinking wine and shooting pool and hanging out and listening to the music they grew up with and going, remember when this happened? Well, what about when this happened? And it didn't devolve into too much of that. I will say this. It didn't devolve into, because I can sense that Jeff is done with the past. I love him and I don't blame him, but I can sense he's got better things and bigger things to talk about now. You know, he's got a life and kids to be proud of, and he doesn't need to hear. I mean, now look, did we talk a bunch about it for 3 days? We did. We busted, because look, all right, I'll tell you this. When we went into Dennis's house, Dennis had framed a ton of photos of us. Old photos. He has all these old photos and he put them in frames all around the living room, the dining room, the kitchen. Photos of us from high school, photos of us from college, photos of us from Cooperstown, photos of us from his 50th birthday party, photos from weddings. It was beautiful. I mean, it was just, we walked around and our memories were there to walk through and observe and look at and just laugh at. And Jeff is sheepish about it in front of Kelly. He's just like, well, yeah, that happened. But anyway, like, he doesn't want to talk about it. I think I told you the story. We were at U of I and Jeff got fucking completely drunk and he wrote his name in mustard on the kitchen table. He wrote Millsy and mustard, and he just wrote it in like regular, like Millsy, but then he dotted the I with the entire container of mustard. It's just, Millsy, and then he just squirted it all out and made a huge pile of mustard as the dot in the I. And that's the same night he was going to put his head through a wall. And we're all chanting. We're like, fucking come on, you got to put your head through the wall. Whoa, just screaming at him, put your head through the wall, Millsy. Come on, Millsy. You got to put your head through the goddamn wall. And he lined up and he's like, I'm going to do it. And he's like, everybody's cheering and chanting. He's like, 1, 2, 3. And he goes, fuck it. And he kicked his foot through the wall instead and he slumped to the ground. And he literally kicked a hole in the wall. And there's a great picture of him just fucking sitting next to the hole and just pointing at the hole with his eyes closed. He's so loaded. And that's in a frame at the house, along with the Millsy mustard table. Like, all of these pictures are out. And it was so gorgeous. It was fucking hilarious. And we talked and we laughed, but then we talked about what he's doing, his kids, whatever. And it's you have that special bond that you have with people you grew up with and you shared dumb experiences with. Jeff was in the car when I threw waffles. Kelly wanted to hear that story. She's like, wait, did you throw waffles at somebody? And I'm like, and then Jeff just rolls his eyes and I'm like, yeah. And then when I threw the Sino-Japanese salad at the little girl and it stuck to her face, I mean, all of these stories came up. It's just fucking wild. And we stayed up, like I said, till 3 a.m, fucking shooting pool and playing music. And it was so great. It was perfect. It was perfect. It almost made waiting a year to do it worth it. And then Saturday came and I had a dumb baseball draft, but we cooked out steaks after. We watched basketball. Sunday, I will say Sunday was strange because it was Dennis's birthday on Monday. That was one of the reasons I thought this would be a good week to come out. So Sunday night, it turned out he was having kind of a birthday gathering at his house. And, I guess you'd call it a party. I say a gathering, but it was a bunch of kids. It was parents and kids and cake and carrot cake, 2 different cakes, whatever. And it was strange because, again, seeing Jeff and Dennis is one thing because I know those guys, and I've gone to see Lenny and my nieces. So I've seen Pat, and then his wife would come in the room. So I've never been in a room with more than 3 other people for a year, except a grocery store and stuff like that. Well, this party, like, the neighbors are coming over and they're not wearing masks. The kids aren't wearing masks. And, Dennis and Kelly are vaccinated. I'm vaccinated, so I wasn't that worried about it. And I even said to Den, I'm like, should I throw a mask on? He's like, you can if you want. He goes, but the majority of the people here are vaccinated and I was like, all right. But it was a party. there was probably 15 people, maybe 20 people in the house having cake, talking, hanging out on the deck and in the house. And it was weird for two reasons. It was weird because, you know, again, I haven't been in a room with more than 3 people at any given time in a year. So that was strange. And the no masks, I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to hide. I didn't want to go downstairs and retreat. But it did feel strange, and it felt like I should say something. But what the fuck am I going to say? I'm a guest in my friend's house. These are all of his friends, you know. And this is, and everybody said, this is how it starts. That's the peer pressure, whatever. And I wasn't going to ask for vaccination cards from everybody. But all I can do is take care of myself. And I knew I was vaccinated, and if I wanted to throw a mask on, I could have. But instead, what I did was I just kind of stayed 6 feet away from everybody. That was my solution to the issue. Now, did it hurt that I didn't know any of these fucking people and probably didn't have anything to say to them? No, because again, I'm a big dude right now. I'm probably about 4 bills or 380, and I got my fucking mohawk haircut, so I'm sure they're just like, who the fuck is that guy? You know what I mean? They don't want to go near me, and nobody's seeking me out to go, hey man, what's going on with you? You know what I mean? So avoiding them wasn't that big of an issue, for fuck's sake. It was fine. I could distance myself. Now, I kept thinking, well, you should be part of this party because it's Dennis's birthday and stuff. But at one point, me and Jeff, we went and sat at the kitchen table. We were still away from everybody, though. And Jeff is just like, all right, let's get out of here. Let's go watch the game. And I go, yeah. I go, is it rude? And he's like, no, we don't know any of these fucking people. I'm like, all right, let's go. So then we'd go into the living room and we'd, again, sit 6 feet away from one another. Other people would come in. It was all 6 feet away. There was a lot of social distancing going on, at least on my end, and Jeff's end. We were staying away from people. I didn't wear a mask, but I stayed as far away from people as I possibly could, which, like I said, that wasn't that big of an issue because I don't want to talk to these fucking people anyway. They're all very nice. They're lovely. They're neighbors. They know Dennis, and Dennis is in a gated community where everybody knows one another and they're all friendly and happy. But for me, these are civilians. I don't have a lot of things to small talk with them about. And I know that sounds rude or terrible or whatever the fuck, but it's just the way it is. My brain works differently. And look, again, I'm friendly. I can have small talk and stuff, but I didn't know these people. And also the fact that I hadn't done that in a year, I didn't want to subject them to my oddness. So I was happy to go watch fucking USC dismantle Oregon in the fucking living room. But it was fantastic. It was normal. It was life. It was life coming back to life. And I loved every second of it, and then Jeff went home on Monday. We just hung out. And here's the thing. I will tell you this. We didn't really do anything. We hung out. We ran errands on Monday because Dennis had sat on my glasses, which is completely true. Dennis sat on my fucking glasses because I put him on the couch next to me, whatever. It's my fault. But then he crazy glued the lens back into the frames so I could watch basketball. And then we went to Lens Crafters, and this guy's like, look, man, I can't do anything with the glue in there. So then Dennis, again, I don't know how do men know this? I don't know how to do any of this shit. We went to Walgreens. He bought acetate, which is the stuff that I guess women use on their gel nails to dissolve them. And so he bought that, and then he used it to dissolve the glue, and he took the lens out and he wiped the glue out of the frame and out of the lens in the parking lot. And we went back to Lens Crafters. The guy's like, oh, okay, now I can try to fix these, because I was ready to buy glasses. Now, I didn't want to spend $400 on a fucking pair of glasses, but I have to if I have to. But this dude fixed them. So we did that. We went to Smash Burger, which I'd never been to. Again, it was just real life. And there was no big plans in Denver. There was no, let's go here, let's go that. The only real plan we had was opening day. I wanted to go to opening day at Coors Field. That was the plan, was to go to the baseball game on Thursday. But we hung out. We went to a couple restaurants. But I basically did all of the stuff that I do here, but I did it in Colorado. There was no milestone thing that we were going to do. There was no, like I said, I wanted to go to the baseball game on Thursday. But then Lenny texted me. He's like, hey, man, what are you doing Saturday? I said, I'm back in town Friday. He goes, you want to go to the Sox game down in Anaheim? And I said, fuck yes. He goes, all right, I'll get the tickets. You get Portillo's and you drive. So I knew I was going to a ball game on Saturday anyway. So Thursday morning we were going to go. He worked all of his connections to try to get tickets, but tickets were so expensive, or there were secondary market tickets that were up in the sky, and he didn't want to sit up there because Dennis liked good seats. So on Thursday morning I woke up and I was ready. He's like, well, we'll go to a bar and watch the Cubs game. Then we'll make our way over to Rockies to Coors Field and see if we can get in. And then he was on the couch when I got up, and he goes, "Hey man, what do you think about today?" I go, "I don't know. What's the plan?" He goes, "Well, the way I was thinking about it, we're probably not going to get tickets to the game." He goes, "So we can actually just kind of, what if we just fired up one of those pizzas?" Because I should tell you, I bought 2 Lou Malnati's deep dish pizzas and had them sent to his house. He's like, "Why don't we just warm up one of those pizzas and then sit here?" And I go, "Dude, don't even finish that sentence. That's exactly what I want to fucking do." I said, "We can watch every game here in your house. We'll watch the Cubs. We'll flip to the Phillies, whatever we want to do, and we'll eat pizza." Are you fucking kidding me? You're asking me if I want to sit on the couch for the next 12 hours and watch baseball and eat pizza? Fuck yes. And that's what we did. Thursday, we just made deep dish pizzas. I bought 2 of them. We ate them both. We watched the Phillies. We watched the fucking Cubs. We watched the White Sox. We watched the Mariners. I mean, I didn't move from the couch for like 6 hours. It was glorious. It was life. It was hanging out with my friend in his gorgeous house with his beautiful wife and just fucking living a life that I've missed, that I haven't seen. Like I said, we did go out a couple times. He and I went to a joint, and we walked up. There's some place in Boulder. It's this basically this open air mall. There's a ton of stores, and we're walking up and down. And I had mentioned to Den that, you can see the damage I'd done because, I'll be honest with you. He has a 20-step staircase that goes upstairs, and that's where my room was. I would be out of breath when I got to the top of the staircase. It was awful. And again, the thin air didn't help. Man, fucking dude, Denver, what the fuck? My lips were beef jerky the whole week. My nose was filled with fucking granola. It was brutal. Like I blew my nose like 10 times a day. It was so dry. And I was chugging water, man. I was doing what I could to stay hydrated. I don't know how anybody fucking lives there. I was doing what I could to stay as hydrated as I could. But man, it was fucking brutal. But going up or down stairs or even walking outside at a pace, like, if I just leisurely strolled, whatever. But Dennis he's in good shape and athletic, and he's used to walking at a certain clip. And his wife too. They're cyclists. They bicycle fucking 100 miles a week at least. Maybe more. Dennis has got a racing bike. He's got a fucking competition bike. He's got a mountain bike, a trail bike. He's got like 7 different bikes in his fucking garage. So I was like, I told him I was looking at bicycles. So he was like, "Really?" He goes, "Would you do that?" I go, "I don't know. But the problem is there's no fat guy bikes." He goes, "Yeah, there are." I said, "Well, I Googled it, but it didn't." And he's like, "Fuck it." So we went to a bicycle store. We wound up talking to bike dudes, and they Googled stuff. They go, "Here's the Mongoose." And then there's some other bike called the Big Dummy, but it has like carts on it. I'm like, I'm not a taco guy in Mexico. I don't want to have, fucking somewhere to, I'm not carrying anything with it. I just want to ride a bike. So Dennis was like, "Well, I'll do some more research on it," because Dennis knows all about bikes. So I might be getting a bike, which is going to change everything. I can't, because I'm terrified, man. I'm terrified I'm going to get on a bike and it's going to break. Because again, I'm a giant dude. I'm weirded out sitting on couches and shit like that. I'm like, we sat out on his deck, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to move this chair, and I'm going to take a kitchen chair out here because the kitchen chair is made of steel. I'm not going to ruin steel. Anything made of wood or plastic is in danger. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm like the big bad wolf, all right? And everything I sit on is the 3 little pigs, and I got to make sure I sit on the good house or it's going to be fucking destroyed. It's just going to be laid the fuck out. But goddamn, was it a great trip. It was worth it just to have real life. And I loved seeing Jeff, and I loved seeing Dennis, and I loved hanging out. And I was there for fucking 7 days of nothing. I literally did nothing new. And then I flew home, and the same thing happened. I went to the desk because Summer had told me, she goes, ask at the counter when you get there. And Jeffrey was the lovely Southwest guy, and I said, "Hey, look, this is what happened in Burbank." He goes, "Oh yeah, no problem." And they gave me another seat for the way home. And everybody wore their masks. Everybody was nice. It was fucking glorious. It was everything I could have wanted. It was an escape that I needed. And the funny thing is, it wasn't an escape to anything special. It wasn't an escape to Disneyland or, ball games. It was just an escape to real life. And I have been held prisoner by fake life for over a year, for so fucking long, that just being able to escape to real life was more than enough. You guys can get me at Mike at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. You guys can be my friend at Facebook.com/the40-year-old boy. You can follow me at twitter.com/the40year-old-boy. I'm at Instagram and Snapchat. What's this? Yes, I am. I'm at Instagram and Snapchat at Mike40YOB. I'm also at TikTok at Mike40YOB. I know that makes no sense to anybody, but goddamn, I like watching TikToks. I haven't done any. But I am at Instagram, Snapchat. Don't look. Do me a favor. Do not go to Snapchat. Don't go to Snizchat either. Oh boy, that'll throw you for a fucking loop. No, I'm at Instagram and Snapchat and TikTok at Mike40YOB. Find me there, please. And I'm at all those. You want me in your life, don't you? We're back. We're ready. It's a Thursday schedule. Granted, it's Thursday afternoon, but it's still Thursday. I'm glad we're out. Smells like Thursday, doesn't it? Our buddy KC handles the YouTube stuff. Thanks, KC. I owe you an email, of course. And who you're gonna laugh at me? I don't remember who does the website. Holy fuck! All right, well I owe him an email too. His name escapes me. Jesus Christ! See, real life has fogged me. I don't know. Now I'm just escaping into a world of like pizza and baseball and real life again. I can't concentrate on this kind of stuff. But thank you, web guy. I owe you an email. And of course, our buddy, David Hernandez. David Mex Hernandez is at facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez. He does all sorts of cool things over there. He does artwork that you can hire him for. Go ahead and hire him for that kind of thing. If you go and become his friend at Facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez. You can see all the artwork he's done for his page, all the memes he's created, all the other stuff he's done for my page, for the Westside 86 Jokers page. He's done a ton of artwork in the past and music for this show, and he does it for his own show now. He's got his own podcast too. I'll tell you about that in a second. First, let's tell you about the closed group called This Is Dumb, That's Dumb, You're Dumb, I'm Dumb. That's on Facebook. You can go ahead and see his memes and be a part of the people who are pointing at the internet and laughing. Ho, ho. And then also, he has his podcast, the Phlegmcat Podcast. That's 2 words, Phlegmcat. The Phlegmcat Podcast is available now. Go ahead and check it out wherever finer podcasts are sold. The Apple Podcast Space, the iTunes Store, Spotify. That's a lot of whistling S's in that sentence. I apologize, but my mouth does not behave. But there you go. The Phlegmcat Podcast is out there. And also, he does artwork that you yourself might want to have and go ahead and put up in your house. That's right. He'll paint your Facebook caricature. He'll paint your dog. He'll paint your aunt. He'll paint your son. He'll paint your cousin. He'll paint your coffee table. He'll do your fruit. You got a bowl of fucking fruit you want immortalized? Get this guy on the fucking case. He'll paint in oil. He'll paint in watercolor. Whatever the fuck you need or want. If you want a banana preserved in mayonnaise, he can do it. He'll take mayonnaise and paint you a canvas banana that'll fucking knock your ass off. So what you want to do is hire him to do that. Go to facebook.com/David Mex Hernandez. Reach out to him there by being his friend and then say to him, hey, I want you to paint me some stuff. Or, hey, I love the Phlegmcat Podcast. Or, hey, I like the This Is Dumb, That's Dumb fucking thing. Also leave reviews for the Phlegmcat Podcast at the iTunes Store. And also you can go to his website if you want to see other artwork that he's done. Not just the artwork he has on Facebook, but if you go to his website, he's got other artwork that you can check out. Go to his artwork. Go to his website right now. artbydmh.com. That's artbydmh.com.
Cancer isn't free, and the challenges don't end when treatment is finished. For cancer survivors in their 20s and 30s, the stacks of medical bills, empty savings accounts, and time away from work can be catastrophic. No one should have to choose between seeing their doctor or keeping the lights on, or make the decision to skip their medication because they need to feed their families. Yet these are the choices that too many young adult cancer survivors make every day, and COVID-19 has added an extra layer of financial stress and uncertainty. The SAM Fund and Expect Miracles Foundation have provided over $2.5 million in grants to young adults across the country, but the need is greater than ever due to the pandemic. Please join us in supporting their efforts by making a donation to Expect Miracles Foundation's SAM Fund program today. To learn more or make a donation, visit thesamfund.org. That's thesamfund.org.
Max,
Yes, Mike.
am I vascular and yoked?
Yes, Mike.
Shall we begin?
Yes, Mike.
Jokers everywhere gather round. There's a funky new groove going down.
There's a man that is going to town.
He's banging on a treadmill and he's wired for sound. So you're gonna have to stay on alert.
you like?
I like a girl who hates Christmas,
Who French kissed me right in front of my mom?
I like a girl who wants to have sex in a swamp,
The kind of girl who'll make me a kilt.
I like a girl who smells like oranges,
Who does the splits at a car wash?
I hate love,
I used to like to watch Bozo.
I like sentences with 6 words,
We're not even singing about girls anymore. Vascular and yoke,
Christ, I'm so ripped.
vascular and yoke,
Forearms, forearms, forearms.
vascular and yoke,
You should see me tie my shoes.
vascular and yoke.
Calves.
The 40-year-old boy just had his butler quit. The 40-year-old boy is getting mean and fit. The 40-year-old boy is trying to make a change. The 40-year-old boy is chasing down some strange. So don't you even try to knock him off his game. You're goddamn right, his appetite is still the same. He'll make a happy plate, you know he'll lick it clean. He's gonna eat more chicken than a man ever seen. Everybody, you know he's vascular and yoke.
Everybody singing.
Vascular and yoke.
On the one.
Vascular and yoke.
I do this.
Vascular and yoke.
Everybody.
Hey Mike, what else do you like?
I like a girl who eats marbles.
Kind of girl who denies she has a clubfoot.
I like a girl with a bad arm.
Who keeps her underpants in a lunchbox.
I wish I was dead.
I like to fill my mouth full of grapes.
I own many jungle cats.
I never learned to make a grilled cheese.
I like pancakes on the moon.
I think we need to get back to singing about Mike.
I think I heard a noise.
You got up with something to prove. He'll pick you up and get you to groove.
He's a man when he pulls off the move.
You got drywall in your hair, but we'll show you'll approve. You wonder how much one man can take. Y'all wondering at what point he will break.
He's a man, don't you make no mistake.
You need proof, look and see what he did to that cake. Because he's vascular and yoke. You know he's vascular and yoke. There's a hole in there. Vascular and yoke. But I do this. Vascular and yoke. Everybody.
Hey Mike, we know what you like. Now tell me, what do you love?
I love girls with large mouths.
I love it when a woman has tan lines on her face.
I love a girl who steals books.
Who knows about leeches?
I love when a girl holds my gun
And can make fire shoot out of her purse.
I love a girl who looks like a cartoon rabbit.
Lets me see her best friend naked.
I love a woman with a skull hard enough to crack a headboard.
I love it when they beat me at Tetris.
I love making clothes for mice.
I think I might have had rabies once.
I love making toast with a lighter.
I really like soup.
I don't feel so good.
I've never seen the beginning of Big Trouble in Little China.
I hope my enemies catch on fire.
I once watched Jaws in the nude.
I love.
I liked it when the Beatles got along.
Hi there, I'm Jimmy Pardo, host of the award-winning podcast Never Not Funny. It's a show that's been described as hanging out with friends you never knew you needed. Well, each week I get together with my co-host Matt Belknap and great people from the worlds of comedy, Broadway, music, TV, movies. You get the point. Hey, Matt, give me some examples of who we've had on.
Oh my God, Jimmy, we've had comedy legends like Conan O'Brien, Amy Poehler, and Sarah Silverman, Hollywood royalty like Rob Reiner and John Hamm, and members of classic rock bands like Styx and Kiss.
Hey, Never Not Funny's been around since 2006, so we must be doing something right. So why not join our nonsense each week? Never Not Funny.
The fastest hour in podcasting.
Look, man, I don't know who that was you just heard from. It could have been something about pants. It could have been something about vegetables that come through the mail, which just for some reason is a thing now that I don't understand. People ordering boxes of food from strangers. Hey there, I don't know you. You want to send me some figs? I just don't get it. But that's how people handle it now. Everybody's like, hey, you know what I think? I think I'm going to rely on some shady corporation who hides back in the shadows to send me some sugar snap peas for dinner. Wouldn't that be a delight? I want to go to the Sears. That's where we differ. I go to the farmer's market. I go to the farmer's market, and I look directly in the farmer's face, and I go, hey, man, you got any sugar snap peas? And he's like, well, let me put down my pitchfork here, son, and let me get Whistler's mother over here. Oh, no, it's American Gothic. I'm conflating two different pictures. But, you know, there's nothing that says that Whistler's mother couldn't hang out at a farm. Maybe she can. Oh, here you go. How about this? How about the American Gothic couple is in a poly relationship with Whistler's mother? You wouldn't think so because they're all older and you wouldn't think they'd be into that kind of lifestyle. But I'll tell you what, the lifestyle does not discriminate. So we've got the American Gothic couple with their pitchfork and Whistler's mother on her fucking rocking chair, which then becomes a spin fuck chair because the three of them are going at it in an unholy old person wrinkly sex alliance. How about that? The three of them are fucking... God, look, and I know you're like, well, this couldn't happen. I'm world building. Get off my dick. I just made the American Gothic couple poly, and they brought in Whistler's mother as their third. That's a thruple. That's a goddamn, and that's a classic thruple. That's an old ancient museum thruple. You want to have a piece of me? I don't think you can. God damn, I'm world building. I can't be stopped. Some fucking studio needs to hire me. I'm an idea man. You thought fucking that Bill Blazejowski was an idea man? I'm a serious idea man. Okay. Here's what happened. And I know you're like, wow, this is amateur night. It's not, because I saved that on purpose so you can see, so you can feel my panic. All right, you want to feel my panic? I was in the middle of that rant there about Bill Blazejowski and I'm an idea man and everything, and all of a sudden Audacity disappeared from my laptop. The screen just disappeared, the whole thing. It wasn't like it stopped. It wasn't like it froze. It was just gone. It was like fucking Barbara Eden came in and blinked it and it was fucking finished. It was like Billy Mooney came in and he wished it into the cornfield. It was just fucking gone. Now I'm still yelling. I'm like talking to the microphone. I'm Bill Blazejowski. And it just disappears. And I went, what the fuck just happened? And which luckily did not get recorded. So you didn't have to hear that. Although what do I care? You just heard it now. So I'm like, oh no. Because as I've told you, this was, I stopped and started the show like 10 times. One time I did like a 14-minute chunk of the show and threw it away, where I was just like, nah, it just sounds forced. I don't know why, because I'm in my own brain. But I finally, so then I do a show and it feels good. I'm like, all right, I like this show. And it disappears. And I'm like, oh no. So I panic and then I just open up Audacity and it says Audacity did not, what did it say? Audacity file destroyed, whatever the fuck, files corrupted. And it said, recover project, and because it was blank, it was nothing there, and I hit recover project, and it all came back, and I was just like, I would have been recording 10 minutes ago, but I spent that 10 minutes exhaling, where I was just like, because dudes, it's happened before. Like I've lost full files. We've been through this adventure before. Again, I need a studio and a producer. I was just yelling. Didn't I just say a studio needs to hire me as an idea man? Well, I think also another studio needs to hire me as their like house podcaster, and they could do all the fucking work. I can't be pushing buttons and levers and shit. Look how bad I am at it. My computer there's a ghost in the machine. Sting just ate my fucking show. I'm staring right at it like, no, it poofed away like a rabbit out of a fucking hat. It was like magic. And I'm like, no, what the fuck just happened? And then just that button that said recover project and the whole thing came back. I'm like, oh my God. And here's my favorite thing. It says Audacity quit unexpectedly. I'm like, you're goddamn right it did. Jesus Christ. You ain't lying. Oh, terrified. Because again, there's no script here. I don't remember any of the shit I said in the beginning of the show. I know there was a bunch of stuff about a hamster and I think it's pretty funny. But if it's gone, it's fucking gone. Like, it's not like I can just recreate the hamster shit. You know what I mean? Where I'm just like, whatever. All right. All right. I'm shaken up. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm all a buzz. Like it feels like my blood is fiberglass. Like I feel all itchy on the inside, but I'm fine now. because I have a microphone and I can see the Audacity. I can see the blue lines. As long as the blue lines are there, I think we're doing good. But now I'm petrified because, again, also, I one-take Jake this show. Like, I don't want to edit, so I just keep fucking talking, right? I mean, I could do 10 minutes at a time and take a breath and a lap, whatever the fuck. But there's momentum in what I do in the talking and stuff like that. You don't want to see whatever. Who cares? Some shows, maybe they piece it together like Frankenstein, but I try to be like a one fucking file. And so then it all disappeared. I'm like, what the fuck? Which would have been very bad for all of us. All right. What was I talking about? Oh, I know. Old people fucking. That's exactly it. Maybe the machine quit there. Maybe it was, you know what? Maybe it was the ghost of Whistler's mother who's like, how dare you sully my reputation in absentia? And I say, bullshit on that. You're finally getting some action. Get that ass off that chair and put it in the air. It's about to get plugged by the pitchfork. Let's fucking do this, baby. I just, again, a studio has to hire me because I have, you think Bill Blazejowski is an idea man. This is what I was saying earlier when I got so rudely cut off by a ghost. But listen to me. I just took Whistler's mother and the fucking American Gothic couple and I made them a polythruple. Don't tell me you haven't thought of that in the past. Actually, please, if you did, don't tell me you've thought of that in the past. I don't want to know. I think I just came up with it now. If that's an idea somebody else had, I don't want to fucking know it, goddammit. Last thing I want to know is that I'm regurgitating older ideas because, again, I'm world building. I just built your museum into a fuck tank. How about that? You got an old people fuck tank. That's not a museum. That's an old people fuck tank, baby. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. A lot of wrinkles getting smoothed out. All right. What the fuck was I saying? Oh yeah. So we have me talking to you now about stuff, and I'm lost. I got to be honest. I am still shaking from losing what could have been this show because I was like, it took me. It's been a while. We took last week off and I'm like, all right, let's get back on the horse. And it was weird getting back on the horse. And then to have this whole show get eaten, I would have lost my fucking mind. Like it may have been the end. I may have just gone, you know what? I can't. Couldn't possibly. But luckily we don't have to worry about that now, do we? No, we don't. What we have to worry about is our sponsors. What I was saying is, I don't know who just advertised before us. Again, with the people sending us vegetables in the mail, or the people going, "Hey, man, do you want a Zoom will or whatever the fuck?" All those people who advertise on podcasts, it's good for them, right? So I have real sponsors. I have our great friend Fearful Jesuit, who runs the Paranoid Strain podcast, which you know about. And look, I've been telling you for weeks. I'm like, look, the man's gonna have some new content coming up. Guess what? Guess fucking what? Fearful Jesuit and Paranoid Strain have put out, they've started it. It is coming for you. It is live. It is large and in charge right now at iTunes. It is their deep dive into secret societies. Oh, yeah, that's right. I've had the chance to listen to episodes 1 and 2, which are both available right now in the iTunes store. First of all, let's tell you this. Paranoid Strain is a fantastic podcast that destroys conspiracy theories and mysteries of the world. Go ahead and listen to it now. It's available, like I said, wherever you can find your better podcasts. It's at Spotify. It's in the Apple Podcast space. It's in the iTunes store. Go ahead and leave a review in the iTunes store talking about how much you love the goddamn show. Tell them you love me, you love him, you love the show. But, well, you don't have to put all that in the review. Maybe you mention just him. But if you want to say you love me in the review, I'm not going to argue with it. Why not? Tell people you love me. Go ahead. Make me feel important and better than I am. The Paranoid Strain is available wherever you get the good podcasts. Our buddy Fearful Jesuit is taking on secret societies in this new arc. Like I said, I've listened to 1 and 2. Now listen, here's episode 1. You're going to turn it on and you're going to go, this is the new season of Paranoid Strain. And they're going to hear some noise. It sounds like it could be some sort of, gathering or a frat party. And then what's the first thing you hear? Hey, that's me. What? You're goddamn right. My voice kicks off season whatever the fuck of Paranoid Strain Secret Societies. And you get Jesuit and me doing some acting. Oh, there's some lovely acting back and forth, the two of us. We're nothing if not born performers, and the chemistry we have is evident as it's as good as the chemistry you would have as somebody who records his part far away from the other guy and then sends it and asks him to put it in. Did I care for my acting in this one? Maybe not. I don't know if I loved it as much as I've loved previous performances as Alex Jones or whatever, but I did okay. I didn't do so bad. But Jesuit carries the day, and he does a really good job. And he goes into a frat party to mingle with all, and this is the conceit, is all of these secret societies are in there, and they're trying to get all of these people in. So now I guess they're doing secret societies all the way through 2021. Is that a possibility into 2022? I think that's what I heard. But again, like I said, you get us doing some acting. You get a little network tribute in there. You get a stoner representing the Knights Templar. You get the Rosicrucians are in there with the German. Now, I'll tell you what, there's a German dude in this fucking show. He is so German. This German accent is so thick. There was spit in my ear after I listened. I had to drain my ears because my earbuds, there was spit coming through it from this German guy going, it was fucking insane. You got your Freemasons, you got a Scottish voice, you got your Illuminati. That's the English people, these fucking snobs. They're all at the party and they are all there trying to recruit you into listening to their goddamn bullshit. And Jesuit is susceptible to all of it. And like I said, he's going to dismantle these one at a time. But are you think he's doing it alone? Of course not. His helpful sidekick, Dana Unicorn, is going to be there. Dana Unicorn is in both of these shows that I heard. She's fantastic, doing a great job. There's a bit of an adversarial relationship blooming between our friend Jesuit and his friend Dana Unicorn. She almost is motherly in her scolding of him and the things that he decides to do. I understand it's a scripted show. Don't yell at me. But I will say, Dana, lighten up. You're on a podcast with a great guy doing a great job on for millions of people who listen. So I think maybe you should give our friend Jesuit a bit of a break. And now you're thinking Dana Unicorn and Fearful Jesuit are there, and that's great. But who else could possibly be there? Is there room for anybody else? Well, let me tell you this. You probably weren't expecting this. But you're damn right. This is who shows up. Professor motherfucking Richard D. Spence. You're goddamn right. You're thinking, no, there's no way it's possible. Oh, I'm here to tell you it's possible, friend. It is true. Motherfucking Professor Richard D. Spence is in the house. And he runs down all sorts of stuff about secret societies. I found out that secret societies are driven by the fervor of they're like cults. The fervor of the members is what makes the secret society churn. It's the fuel for the fire, so to speak. They're driven like cults where bonds are created by the importance that you can give them. Like if you say to them, hey man, I've got information that nobody else knows, but I'm going to tell you. You make people feel important and you're sharing with them. And so they're like, this is awesome. And so they're willing to do whatever the fuck you want. They'll run through a goddamn wall. We get the Return of the Wheel of Arbitrary episode starting points, which is fine. You get a surprise rapper. I'm not going to say who it is, but there's a surprise rapper drop right there. And I think it's episode 1. Again, I listened to them in a back-to-back kind of chunk, so I can't tell you which is 1 and 2, but I can tell you will get a surprise rapper in the first 2 episodes. I learned that there's a goddess of vegetation and grain, which I didn't realize was a thing. And I will tell you this. At one point you hear this quote, when it comes right down to it, we don't have a lot of historical facts. I'm not going to tell you what it applies to, but it's very relevant to the episode. You find about the Eleusinian Mysteries. Is it the Eleusinian Mysteries or the Eleusinian? I think it's the Eleusinian Mysteries. And they talk. And this guy, I got to be honest with you, I wasn't fond of this guy because he gives a speech about what they drank, like this drink that would fuck people's heads up, and it was honey, barley, water, and something else. I'm going to need a lot more than something else. I'm going to need you to narrow it down for me. Don't give me honey, barley, water, and something else, but that contributed to the Eleusinian Mysteries. You'll learn a disgusting fact about Pythagoras, which I was not fond of. You'll learn the shadowy origins of Hermeticism, which is a phrase that I love and I can't wait to get rid of on somebody else someday. I didn't know this. The universe is built on 12. Did you know that? The universe is built on the number 12. Sir Isaac Newton is a bit of a scramble head. I wasn't aware of this. He's all about apples and theories, but then he also believes a bunch of shit and he gets obsessed with the temple. We learned about King Solomon and Yahweh. Those guys make an appearance. And that's in episode 2, I think. But I will tell you this. Here was a moment for me. Dana Unicorn, whom I love, certainly. But she's from an ice country, Finland, Norway, whatever the fuck, somewhere out there. And her English is already dicey. All right. We love her and she does a terrific job, but her English it gets away from her a bit. She tries desperately, but it's very clipped and she runs into some dead ends sometimes. But Dana, whose English is, as I've mentioned, already dicey, goes Cajun. And is it the highlight of both episodes? I would say highlight and low light, just because you didn't see it coming. And I'm willing to hear her try it and take a shot at it. But Dana, who again, she lives somewhere where they eat small fish. like tiny fish with eyes. You know what I mean? They just eat herring and all that stuff. Well, she tries a Cajun accent. And look, Cajuns barely can do a fucking Cajun accent, all right? But she goes ahead and she gives it, dude, two-fisted. She goes with gusto. She tries to make it happen. And then she comes up with a fucking Louisiana accent so tortured that the ghost of Huey Long flew out of my laptop and punched me in the face. It was crazy. The Cajun chef, a skeleton shambled by my window, and it was Justin Wilson, the Cajun chef. And he said, I guarantee that is a terrible accent. I said, I don't doubt it. Rattle those bones off and dig yourself a hole, buddy. It is crazy. I applaud her for being willing to try whatever the fuck Jesuit makes her do. But holy Jesus. There is I think they actually canceled Mardi Gras for next year because of this accent. People were so offended and upset by it. They're like, nope, no, not happening. We are going ahead and eliminating all possibility of a Mardi Gras next year. But good for her. She's a champion for even trying it. I couldn't possibly do that accent. I do that just like, like that little fucking thing, but that's it. But it is the Paranoid Strain podcast. It is available now in the iTunes store. Go ahead and check it out. Secret Societies episodes 1 and 2 are both up right now. Go ahead and download and give them a listen. Write our man a note. Here's his email address: theparanoidstrain@gmail.com. theparanoidstrain@gmail.com. Right, Fearful Jesuit. Tell him you love Dana and her attempts at accents. Tell her you love me. Tell him you love him. Tell him you love the show. Go ahead and leave that review in the iTunes store, as I've mentioned, and just listen to it. Because again, as I've said many times before, it's a well-produced show that I couldn't do. And anybody who can do things that I can't do, I am fascinated by it. So I tell you right now, it's out there, ready for you to listen to and love. The Paranoid Strain podcast. Subscribe today, leave reviews, write emails, and if anything, just listen to the goddamn thing and realize it's top of the fucking heap. Give it a chance. I want to mention the Misfit Toys Co-op. I'm part of the Misfit Toys Co-op, Never Not Funny, with our friends Matt and Jimmy. Doug Loves Movies with our friend Doug. Todd Glass Show with our friend Todd. No Fun with Jen Kirkman with our friend Jen. And Let Me Watch Your Movie with Jonah Ray. Let Me Watch Your Movie with You with Jonah Ray. I'm joking. He's my friend Jonah Ray. I was waiting to see someone who goes, he didn't say he's his friend. Everybody else is his friend, but not Jonah Ray. No, Jonah's my friend. Let Me Watch Your Movie with You with Jonah Ray. Never Not Funny with Matt Belknap and Jimmy Pardo. Doug Loves Movies with Doug Benson. Todd Glass Show with our friend Todd Glass. And No Fun with Jen Kirkman. Jen's getting it done. Jen is ripping it up, man, every week. Jen does a video feed of her podcast. Like, in my brain, I'm like, part of me, I'm always like, I could never do a video feed of my podcast. And then I think to myself, wait a minute. This would have been the week to do a video feed, because if you could have seen my fucking face when the Audacity disappeared, that would have been worth everything. That would have been the fucking all-time winner, because I'm just like talking, Bill Blazkowski, what the fuck just happened? And you would just see my enraged face. So maybe I can hop on the Jen Kirkman bandwagon and think about doing something like that. Who knows? But she's terrific. Go watch her feed. No Fun with Jen Kirkman. All of these shows are available in iTunes. All of those people have websites, I'm sure. I don't know. Look, I'm not going to plug all 7 shows with 8 million fucking things. Go find them. Google them. They're awesome. The Misfit Toys Co-op, bringing you podcasts from people who are friends. Want to hire me for Cameo? Of course you do, goddammit. You want to book me to go ahead and call you and your friends and whomever else you might have on the line? Hold the line. Low, it's Mike Schmidt on time. That's right. I'm in Cameo, bastardizing Toto songs. You want me to call Toto? You want me to call Steve Lukather and do a version of Hold the Line for him? I can do it. Whomever you want me to call, I'm happy to do it. Call somebody in your family, call one of your friends, call somebody you work with. It's baseball season. You want me to call and taunt you about that? I'll taunt you about basketball. You know any Gonzaga fans? Their historical season was destroyed and blown up right in their faces as Baylor swarmed them and drowned them on Monday night on national television. Happy to call a fan from Gonzaga. Make fun of them. Happy to call, you know what, do you have a Baylor fan who's too big for his britches? I'm happy to call him and remind him that a short 10 years ago, basketball players were murdering one another, and now you're the national champions. Don't get too high. Don't get too low and don't get too high. 1 year you're beating Gonzaga on national television. The next year, one of your players is murdering another player, and the coach is trying to convince the other players to say that other guy was a drug dealer. I mean, it's a funny world, college athletics. But I'm happy to do that on your Cameo. I'll call a Baylor flan. I'll call Baylor flan. Let me ask you this. Do you make a green and gold Baylor flan to celebrate? If you're a Latino fan of the Baylor University Bears, did you make a flan to celebrate what happened on Monday? By the way, did you also make a flan? Hire me for Cameo. I'll call anybody you want. I'll say anything you want. I'm fucking desperate, man. Why wouldn't you do it? You can give me money if you want to go ahead and keep this show rolling, which you do probably, I think. Do you? Do you want to? Do you want my show? You got it. Do you want it? I know you got it. Baby. It's the traveling fuckheads, right? I think it is. All right. So if you go to MikeSchmidtComedy.com, in the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see a horn boy, and you click on that, and you can give me some PayPal dough. Like my friend Suzanne did. I got to call her because I don't know what the fuck she's sending me money for. She's awesome. And she's a friend. Friends don't send me money. And I know you guys are all my friends, but still send me money. Anyway, forget I said anything. Regardless, click on the horn boy. You can send me a one-time PayPal donation, or get this, you can actually subscribe to something and send me a monthly PayPal stipend, which I would love and enjoy. Thank you for thinking of me. But it's up to you, man. However you want to handle that at MikeSchmidtComedy.com. Click on the old horn boy and send me some dough. Keeping this show afloat, sending me anything like that really, really helps. I mean, really helps. I mean, like fucking really helps. So don't you want to help? I think you do. Thank you for thinking of me and helping me by hiring me for Cameo and going to PayPal. And also, you can become a Patreon of this show. Or a patron at Patreon. Jesus. Pronunciation gets away from me late in the show. If you want to join patreon.com/Mike40YOB, I'd appreciate it. Become a patron of this show, and you're sending money per month, and you're doing cool things to go ahead and think about me. Like our friend, did I mention Rob? Our friend Rob just boosted his Patreon donation. Thank you, Rob. You're very cool for doing that. And wasn't there somebody else? Let's take a look. I wonder if there's somebody else I get to mention here. I think there is. I think there is not. Let's click on the bell on Patreon. Am I logged in? I am. Notifications. Here they come. And Rob boosted his, and oh no, other people just quit. All right. Well, good. Thanks, everybody. Oh, hey, you know what? I forgot to mention when I was in Aspen, or not Aspen, in Colorado, whatever you want to call it. My friend Ellen came and joined out. Listener Ellen, who I've mentioned here, she's a patron at Patreon. She's a listener. She happened to live in Colorado, and she was a couple hours away. And I was like, hey, man, if you wanted to come out, that'd be cool. And we went out to dinner. She came and hung out with me and Kelly. We hung out at the house a little bit. Went to dinner at a place called Public School, I think it was called. Or the School Bar. I don't even know. But you could eat in a school bus if you wanted. And then you went inside, and they had, like, you could pull down maps and stuff. And here's what I did. Here's the mistake I made. It was a bar, right? So it's a big bar with 8 million kinds of whiskey. They had a bar that was they had a whiskey that was $325 for a shot. Some Japanese fucking whiskey. And I'm like, whoa, dude. But then they also had bar food. You know, they had, Dennis got a salmon sandwich, and Ellen got pulled pork, and Kelly got a salad. Here's what I ordered in a bar. They had meatloaf, they had burgers, they had all sorts of stuff. You know what I ordered? Here's what I ordered. Shrimp and grits. I'm in a bar, and I ordered shrimp and grits. And look, were the grits like wallpaper paste? They were. Were they far too dry? Certainly they were. But it was my own fault. It had a little andouille in there, had a little shrimp. I ate about half of it. The other half is probably still in Dennis's fridge. But it didn't matter. It wasn't about the meal. It was all about hanging out with our friend Ellen, who drove up. And again, 4-hour round trip just to see me. That is amazing and incredibly nice. And I love her, and I'm happy that she did it. It was so cool to see her. And you guys can do that too. Like if I'm ever in Canada, you can come see me, or if I'm in other places. And also, I'm in Chicago. Did I mention that? I'm going to mention that now. July 8th, 9th, and 10th, I'll be at Zany's in Chicago. And if you want to buy tickets, I understand there are people coming from Rhode Island. There's our friends Sal and Jill. I think they're really coming to town to see Mex, but also at the same time, they may take time out to see my show as well. But the two of them can't wait to meet David. And then, Canadian people might be coming. I don't know, man. It's going to be fun. And people are already asking me, am I hanging out? Well, there's shows Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. As far as I know, it's one show Thursday, 2 Friday, 2 Saturday. That's what I think it is. So if you're going to want to hang out, you're going to want to come to the late shows on Friday or Saturday, because I will hang out all night after that. Or come to the show Thursday, and we can hang out Thursday night. So let me know. And look, you don't have to let me know. What the fuck? It doesn't matter. Just come. If you want to come, that's great. If you don't, that's totally fine too. But if you find yourself in Chicago, July 8th, 9th, or 10th, and you want to come out, hanging out, like if you come to the first shows, that's great. And then maybe you could go eat dinner while the second show happens, and then we'll hang out after. I don't care. Whatever you want to do. But the point is, I can't hang out much between shows, but I can definitely hang out after shows. So keep that in mind. So if you guys want to come out July 8th, 9th, or 10th to Zany's in Rosemont, Illinois, that would be cool, and I'd be happy to see you there. That'd be fantastic. And again, if you want to become a patron of Patreon, patreon.com/Mike40YOB. It's there. It's waiting for you to support me and this show. Don't you want to do that? Don't you want to support? Yeah. Do you want to support? Yeah. Do you want to support me on Patreon? Yeah. That's terrible. That's awful. I should edit that out. You know what? I wish Audacity would have disappeared right then. I'm not going to lie to you. I would actually expect that. I'd be like, yes, Audacity, that is a great choice you just made. We got channels. You can check me out at Twitch. Did you know that? Twitch.tv/the40year-old boy. That channel exists. You can go ahead and check me out. I'm on there streaming probably 5 days a week. Monday through Friday, we're there streaming games, puzzles, and I'm going to start putting up a schedule on the Joker's page. I'm going to start tweeting it. I'm going to try to get people to pay attention to it. Like I said, reemerging into life. So I have to start having a purpose, going out and working and doing stuff, and I want you guys on board. I want you to watch me on Twitch. I want you to listen to this show, and you know it's time to reemerge. Welcome to the working week, as Elvis would say. And so we're going to do that, man. So if you can go ahead and become a follower or a subscriber at twitch.tv/the40year-old boy, you'll see that I'm there Monday through Friday streaming, sometimes early, sometimes late, usually 3 o'clock in the afternoon until 5 or 6. It depends on whatever we're playing or whatever we're doing. But twitch.tv/the40year-old boy, go ahead and join in. That'd be fantastic. I'd love to have you there. Thank you so much for thinking of me. And also youtube.com/the40year-old boy. That exists, and we need you to subscribe over there. Will there be videos coming there soon? Yes, probably, possibly. Let's see. Grandiose plans, will they come to fruition? Who knows? But I will tell you that twitch.tv/the40year-old boy, youtube.com/the40year-old boy could use your support. Go ahead and follow and or subscribe to those channels, and keep an eye out. Right now at YouTube, there's a backlog of some stuff that you can check out. Obviously, if you've seen it once, you've seen it all, and all these shows are there too. And twitch.tv, every day new content is being created. If you go there now, there's a ton of clips and a ton of old streams you can watch, and watch me be fucking hilarious. I'm not a bad guy. I'm kind of funny sometimes. So go ahead and check it out. Twitch.tv/the40year-old boy, youtube.com/the40year-old boy. And now I'm off, man. I'm going to go outside. That's right. I'm going outside a lot more these days. I'm going ahead and embracing life. I went to the baseball game with Lenny on Saturday. We went to Portillo's, and dude, we're psychos. We ordered all this food at fucking Portillo's, man. Lenny got a double dipped beef with fucking extra jardinera and extra sweet peppers. He got a fucking, did he get a dog or what? He got a Polish with extra grilled onions like me. I got a Polish with extra grilled onions. I got a Chicago dog. I got a combo dip with sweet peppers to bring home. We got fries and onion rings. It was a mess. It was a fucking mess. I know, I'm telling you all the damage I did to myself. I'm looking at getting a bike. I'm trying to fucking fix my life. And then I'm eating a fried fist on goddamn Saturday. But you know what? Then we went to the ballpark. And it was weird, man, to go to the ballpark. It was fucking glorious. I loved it. I'm not bitching at all. I loved being in the ballpark. But it was strange with the new rules because, you wear the mask in the park and then everybody's socially distanced. And Lenny bought 2 seats, right? So they make sure that your section, everybody's socially distanced from one another. But here's how they make sure of it. They fucking put zip ties on all the seats. So then Lenny and I go over, and I figured we'd spread out. No, we got to sit right next to one another because there's zip ties on all the other seats. And I'm now a fucking planet. So poor Lenny is squished like into a fucking corner. And I'm like, dude, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. By the second inning, he just fucking prison break to the goddamn zip tie and took it off, and he moved over a seat, and then we could relax. But I have to be honest, I didn't wear my mask for like 8 innings. I was fine with it. You didn't have to go to the vendor. You didn't have to go get food. The vendors you ordered it on your phone. And I don't know if it was like that. I think it was like that in the whole park because of the rules. So we would order, and then we'd put a tip on the order. And then we had this one vendor who kept coming over, and he'd like give us our food, and we'd go, how you doing? He's like, I'm so tired. This is like, it's really crazy, these new rules, walking around and bringing people food. And he's like making small talk, but he's also kind of hanging around like he expects a tip. And I mean, I'm like, dude, I didn't the first time, he just kind of hung out, and he's like, yeah, it's tiring. You're walking up and down the stairs here and just carrying the cart. It's, it's new. It's an adjustment. Like, he wants to make small talk. I'm trying to watch the White Sox, and I'm like, oh man, that's cool. You know, what else do I say to this fucking guy? So the third time we ordered stuff, and yes, I know, we are monsters, all right? We ordered Lenny ordered, because Lenny had Lenny had 3 or 4 beers, but they're $15 beers. They're these big fucking cans of like IPAs and shit. And I didn't care, like I said, because the tickets also were outrageous. I didn't even know how much he paid. He let it slip. And I'm like, you paid that much? He's like, dude, it's ridiculous. So I didn't care. I paid for all the food and stuff at Portillo's, and then I paid for the food at the park and the beers. But he paid for premium parking and the fucking seats. And this fucking vendor keeps coming back and bringing us the beers. And I had 2 hot dogs in the park. I was so hungry. I had 2 hot dogs, because I didn't. All right, you're like, well, how the fuck are you so hungry with all that Portillo's food? Because here's what happened. I inhaled my Chicago dog at Portillo's. Like, I was so hungry, I inhaled it. And I was so happy to have a Chicago dog. I fucking wolfed it, and probably I housed it in 4 bites. And then I'm sitting there, and I couldn't eat anything else. I ate some fries and onion rings, but I was like, I can't eat the fucking beef. The beef was coming home all the time, but I thought I could eat the Polish. I had 1 bite of the Polish, and I'm like, fuck this. I wrapped up the Polish. I wrapped up the beef. I put them in a bag. I put all the fries and onion rings in the bag. I brought it home. I should have brought it into the fucking park. So now I'm starving in the park, so now I got to buy fucking $9 hot dogs in there. So I bought 2 separate $9 hot dogs. I bought a fucking cookie. You know, because this is another thing. This is where they get you. Vendors walk around, and you see a guy with cotton candy, you're like, fuck cotton candy. You see a guy who goes super rope, you're like, fuck super rope. But if you're on the phone, you're like, yeah, I could probably have a super rope. Like, you didn't even think about it. You're just punching buttons. So then they bring you this fucking Fred Flintstone slab of ribs that tips over the entire row of seats, and you don't give a fuck because you're like, all right, this is fine. Because you're a king, as I've mentioned many times before. If you can punch buttons and people bring you food, that's as good as just going, and somebody shows up with a pile of ribs. It's fucking gorgeous. So I'm sitting in the seat. We're ordering dogs. I ordered kettle corn. I ordered a fucking cookie. Lenny gets a couple of beers. I get a souvenir cup with Mike Trout. I get this, that, and the other fucking thing. I'm like, yeah, let's fucking do this. This is awesome. And, and then at the end of the day, you see the tab. You're like, holy fuck, what did I do? I got to get a mortgage now on a fucking hot dog. What the hell was I thinking? But it doesn't matter. You're pushing buttons. You're getting food. And then the vendor kept coming back. Finally, the third time he comes back, and he's, again, the same deal. He puts his cart down. He's like, stretching. He goes, oh, yeah, it's so tiring. And then he's just standing there, and there's a beat. And then I go, hey, man, we've tipped you every time on the app. And he goes, oh, yeah, no, I understand. I go, all right. I go, well, you're doing that old movie thing where you're like hanging around waiting for a tip. And I got to be honest, we've tipped you like $8 on each trip. Oh, no, of course not. No, I'm just telling you, it's just tiring. You know, I'm stretching, I'm just whatever. Just, you don't get to talk much to people here. It's weird. And then I thought to myself, Mike, why would you say that to him? Because I felt I understood his plight. Because you know what? This is him getting back to real life. This is his real life. He's carrying fucking hot dogs. He's just looking for somebody to talk to because none of us have talked to anybody in a fucking year. It's going to be that way too when we start emerging and outsourcing ourselves and going out to ballparks or concerts or movies or anything. Any small talk interaction is just going to be fucking weird for all of us. So he wasn't trying to get a tip or milking it, or at least I didn't. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. I think he was just so fucking happy to see people and bring them hot dogs again that he wanted to talk about the experience. This is great, isn't it? There's people in the park here and they're watching baseball. Isn't it great to have baseball? And we're all outside again and we can make eye contact. Hey, hot dogs, aren't those good? Don't you like beer? I love bringing kettle corn to strangers. Isn't it fucking awesome? And I should just go, yeah, buddy, I love it too. I love kettle corn and cookies and pressing buttons and getting you over here and not giving you a tip in person because nobody wants cash because it's covered in germs. But holy fuck, I'm happy to give you a tip on the app. Everybody is just reconnecting. We're learning once again how to be social. We're learning how to talk to people, and there's nothing wrong with that. And so I have to realize to let my guard down and just let people have the license to be weird, because we're all going to be fucking weird for a while. We're all going to step outside into weirdness. Any interaction we have with anybody, whether it's a postman or a drive-through guy or any fucking movie, it's going to be strange. Let's embrace the strange. Let's open our arms and realize it's just going to be weird and just be happy that we're reconnecting with people going forward and happily celebrate whatever weirdness and strangeness we have, because it makes us human. It makes us human and it brings us together. Let's be humans together. Let's forgive ourselves our transgressions and realize.
If there's anything I like more than me, it's people who like me. I love me, but if you love me, I love you. 'Cause you know why, we both love me. How great am I? Let's talk about that for a while, and by a while, I mean forever.
Charlie Doe Podcast.